Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Final Boss Draft League. We are in Week 3, Day 2. Our game for tonight is going to be the Gassy Chuds versus the Lash-Back Foundation. T-Von's on the mic with me. How are we doing tonight, T-Von?
Doing great. Doing amazing. A little nervous. My basketball team's playing Game 7 right now, so that's something I'll be checking in on every once in a while between games. But I'm just ready to watch some League of Legends. Low point game here, Church. Very low point game matchup that we've got going on. So, can't wait to see how this one turns out.
Indeed, here 133 for the Gassy Chuds, 135 from the Lash-Back Foundation. Having some pretty suspicious players locked in here for the rosters. I actually got a little bit of messaging from Tony before the beginning of this match, and the suspicious players, the strip players that have been struggling have been Convy, Hopper, and Fishy. And Hopper and Frishy, something like that. The top laner and the support for Lash-Back are in, and we're going to be keeping an eye out for them to see if they're able to hold the water for their team. Tony is in as Ben-Ass as the bot laner, and then Zhao, Mr. Hashtag Rice there in the mid laner, did very well first time we casted them back, I believe, in Week 1. Gassy Chuds, that's Mafia in the jungle for those not knowing. Sad White Man, also looking to see if they're going to be able to step up. They have been struggling as well, but we're ready to get going here. The Garen is locked in top lane. I can't say that there's much to be said about these bans, T-Von.
Bro, we are seeing some NPC bans and NPC lock-ins. Can't say I've really seen a Garen Mordekaiser being matched recently, but I do remember Lash-Back loves Mordekaiser and loved Ambessa the last time we saw them around. So pretty expected, and also this league just loves Garen as a whole. I think it's one of those champions that is very simple, very easy, and kind of has that late game insurance to always be a nuisance. Corky being another pickup, I think a really strong AD carry on this patch. I'd argue one of the strongest if you don't include things like Ashe Seraphine. So or Ezreal. I guess Ezreal's probably the most broken on the patch right now. But one thing we do have to think about, Church, is also this is the new patch. So a lot of crazy new items out. Specifically, top laners have a lot of new, really broken items at their disposal to play off of. So that's what I'm really curious to see, how much these teams really dive into what is now the new meta versus what they just kind of play as what they are comfortable with and what they know.
Indeed, got to see if they're going to adapt to what's new or if they're just going to play what they know, play comfortability. Wouldn't be surprising either way, whether you're looking for an edge or looking to stay stable. I did go back in my notes from conversation with Handy Taco, Tony, or Luke, actually, my apologies, Handy. The one unknown that I was given info about, it might have been resolved since then, but All Gucci, their bot laner in for this match, who was going to be piloting the Corki, is kind of an unknown player so far. We're entering into Week 3, Day 2. I'm still trying to see if all 11 players in each team are going to get a full rotation or get a full impression of how good, bad, or ugly they're going to do. Jagan is getting the Briar. I believe we saw this last time we were casting Lash-Back Foundation.
So that makes things really interesting because now I don't know where anything goes. So one of those champions gotta go mid lane. Not really sure which one is. Because I mean, I could be completely incorrect, Church, and they might one of the AD carry or supports might just be like an Ambessa support one trick that we don't really know about. Or, Church, to bring it back to our olden age, this could be Mordekaiser AD carry back when he was like first reworked. You know what I mean? Where he was
when he
like,
was allowed to pretty much just take the soul of the dragon and walk
dude, that
around
was
like
so cool.
just the
Like,
biggest pet. It was the silliest thing
yeah,
in the game.
maybe they're doing that. Maybe they like did the Wayback Machine, got old Mordekaiser. But no, just kidding. They're replaceable. So one of those is going mid lane. Blind, which is fascinating. Not quite sure which one would be most suitable for them. But so far, their only magic damage is. I don't know. I don't know how you want me to break down the draft. We've got
No,
Mordekaiser, Ambessa, Briar, and Smolder on the same team. Like, this is awesome. Like, it's
I'm
just
sorry. This
whatever.
is this is one of these yarn balls. It's made of spaghetti. And if you try to put a comb through, you're gonna end up making more spaghetti. Like if you
It's
took a
so
bag of
awesome.
chips and keep beating it up, there's gonna be more chips. It's just gonna be a lot worse of an experience than you might have started with. My guess on account of just what the roles are, is that Zhao, XLB, the great one, the mid laner on the side of Lash-Back Foundation, their two roles are mid and top. It is unclear to me if they have actually been a primary top laner, so they might be flexing the Ambessa or the Mordekaiser into their mid lane. And that's the only sort of pull and guess I've got. I'm not seeing any other mid-top combos out of the entire roster of the Lash-Back Foundation. So there's a top mid for Crab Warrior, but they're not in this match. So this is an absolute mystery for everyone involved here, because Briar, don't believe I've ever heard of it, Briar being in any way in a lane on account of how much they need to sustain via how all of their abilities cost health and they have no passive regen. So it's a big ask. And now there's a Xerath. So we got a little bit of behind the curtains there. Briar is paired with Yagen. Yagen loves Briar, so apparently Briar is going in the jungle. This Mordekaiser or Ambessa is going mid, I would think, but now there is a Xerath. More questions. More questions.
Surely Xerath is support. Surely, right? I mean,
Surely.
it could go mid, and actually Xerath is a really good answer into Hui because he can outrange Hui. But I feel like playing either Mbessa or Mordekaiser into Nico Corki just sounds like the worst time ever. Whereas Xerath is pretty good into Nico. He can kind of outrange and match the poke that Nico provides. The only thing is like, on paper, Gassy Chuds have a really well-rounded comp. A lot of really bruisery frontline with the Garen and Viego. But the thing about the Lash-Back Foundation is they kind of thrive on just eating up frontline. So it's going to be a question of, can this Corki and can this Way deal enough damage before the Lash-Back Foundation just run them down with the big chunky HP bars of Briar and Bessa Mordekaiser, which will be fun. And I feel like this is going to be a game church, and this is kind of just every game in the Final Boss Draft League. That is, whoever starts really just getting uber accelerated during lane phase will probably just end up winning the game. I don't think either of these comps kind of provide a really good like late game insurance or way back into the game. So I think it's just going to be whoever wins in the first 15 minutes will most likely just win the game.
We're going to find out as soon as we get back. Keep that tab open. This is Final Boss Draft League. Ooh, actually, we can get confirmation here before we go. Sorry to bait everyone there with that break. We'll tee up, but we're gonna see what the actual layout is and where these champions are going. If you'll give our production a little bit of a chance here, there we go. So, Gassy Chud's pretty stock standard here with Garen in the top lane, Viego, Hui, Corki, and Nico to round out that five. But the Lash-Back Foundation, that Mordekaiser is going topside. Zhao is going to main the Ambessa in the mid. Jagan is taking the Briar in the jungle, unsurprisingly. Then Benaz, Tony, with Hopper are taking the Smolder and Xerath in the bot lane. So we have that sorted out. We have that cleared away. The spaghetti has been straightened, but I am still concerned that there might be other hairs in this meal that are going to mess it up for us. We're going to see that once we get onto the Rift. We'll see you soon. Game 1 is afoot, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Gassy Chuds versus Lash-Back Foundation. The Chuds are on the blue side, Lash-Back Foundation on the red side. The play button, it works.
Dude, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Church. Something that I just remembered about this new patch. I was thinking mostly about top laners, but I forgot, and I got reminded seeing Ben Ass's rune. Apparently, Deathfire Torch, I mean, obviously is back, or Deathfire Touch, excuse me, is back, along with Storm Mage's Surge, or whatever that one was called. That one's not good, but apparently Smolder is like the best AD carry on the patch due to this new rune. Apparently, just procs really well with him. He's able to get a lot of damage and a lot of lane presence because of it, and because it procs on his Q. So, and it's kind of similar to like you would kind of run Comet or Airy on Smolder sometimes, but the fact that that this with Deathfire Torch doesn't have a cooldown on it means it just procs on every single Q. So I'm really excited to see Smolder on this patch. I haven't seen him at all, but I've heard that like everyone is loving how broken he is. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's my fun fact.
could you actually break down how that Deathfire Touch really kind of ends up compounding with Smolder's kit?
Yeah, it's just every spell it procs it, right? So the reason like you can't go Airy, because Airy would do the same thing, right? But Airy has a cooldown per target, right? Or just overall. So the fact that Smolder can kind of auto-Q and then walk away, that burn is just always going to happen, and you can just, instead of auto-Q autoing and trying to get those PTA stacks going, you can just kind of Q and walk away, and you're always going to win auto-attack trades. Because it procs every single time. So
yeah,
just
so
those low.
No matter
cooldown.
what, you're getting the burn. You can just keep that burn going forever, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like low cooldown procs with it really well. So
I love that Riot is still maintaining the rule that if anything that sounds like Deathfire Grasp is still going to have an OP element in its thing. If you're there back in the day, if you want to go see what Deathfire Grasp can do, go look at some of Faker's highlights from back in the day when he was a mechanical god before he became the general of T1. It was very gross what that item could do.
Well, speaking of gross, Elegance should have died there, but the level up to level 3 actually gave him enough HP to survive the Ignite that Zhao had on him. But Zhao actually doing a lot better in this lane than I thought. This seems like an impossible lane to play, because Hui can kind of deny a lot what Mbessa can. But CS up, damage advantage is very much in his favor. Kind of can look for execute at any time.
Fight in the river here, but there's been a roam up the Nico here trying to cause some problem, but this Briar flashing the issue, but oh my gosh, Zhao goes in for the double. Oh, that is a meaty grab here by the Lash-Back Foundation. Flash is going to be used by Mafia. So Yemeni is going down. The Garen has roamed here. Sad White Man's going to make himself a little bit happier with that kill. I don't know if Frishy did not call that one out, but a lot of blood in the mid lane. Advantage, I would say, goes over to Lash-Back Foundation. The wave was pretty neutralized. Looks like they're kind of frozen in the mid lane, but Zhao just getting 2 kills out the gate is what you want on this Mbessa to really kind of tell Elegance that on this way, you're going to have to stay way back in his lane now to stay safe.
When also the whole time, Nico was the one that went up there to make sure that the play happened. So Smolder, this. Oh wait, hold on.
Shields up.
Nope, he's chilling.
She's gonna
so
survive.
Smolder, this eternal god of scaling, so that you want to be punishing and pressuring, especially as Corky Nico, these insane lane bullies early on. Instead of playing that lane bully, you're allowing Smolder to get some easy recalls without being pressured at all, because I believe that was on a recall timer that Ben Asinal Gucci had. And so he's not getting punished at all. He's instead able to get the first back for free, and is putting Nico even further behind, which makes the poke and damage that she has early on even worse. So it's going to be a compounding thing in this bot lane as Smolder and Xerath just continue to survive and continue to get a bigger and bigger time bomb.
Looks like Smother's doing pretty okay. I've never actually gotten a clear answer on what the time scale should be for how many stacks per 10 minutes for 20 minutes on Smolder.
You usually get 225 around like 20 minutes. I feel like that's usually around when it's feeling good. Is about 20 minutes. The other stacks don't really matter as much. It's mostly just like getting to 225. So
yeah, that's the clear break point. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least by like 20,
full.
23 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah, I would say on average, like, it's always there for Soul. I don't remember the number off the top of my head of average or, like, good. But, yeah, usually around 4th Dragon.
Yeah. Damage from this Corki. We saw it in a previous match that we casted. Corki can really put out the damage now as an AD carry and is very far away from that casting mid lane mage from before. And this is the go in right now here. Tony's going to have to run for the stun. It will land. Going to keep his AD carry alive here. Hopper doing well. That last pushback here. Benas really pushing the edges of what his barrier can take. And this wave is not in a good place right now. They're kind of forced out of XP range.
Yeah, burning the 2 minor summoner spells there as well is really great for Gucci and Yemeni to play with. Corki still has flash if he chooses to use it. A little micro thing that made them actually lose that lethal is just the fact that, you know, they didn't fully go in together. It was kind of separated and mismanaged and mistimed from the duo. So it did make it a little awkward for the damage to go out, but nonetheless, like, they're able to get a really good wave state, force them both to recall. This is the kind of pressure you want to be putting on a Smolder early on, because you want to make him feel bad for locking in that champion. Something that you should also be doing if you're facing Smolder is stacking dragons, because Smolder is infinite scaling, so what can you do to counter infinite scaling? Get the global infinite scaler that is a dragon soul and put the game on a timer. So the fact that Lash-Back is getting first dragon is just pretty disturbing.
It feels like a really lack of good priorities on the side of Gassy Chuds. All Gucci trying to make a play there. Flash is exchanged there between him and Benas. But advantage on at least macro sense. The gold advantage is nominal. We only really see absolute stomps when there's like a 7k, even 10k gold lead. And even then, with how this league goes, the coin flip is still floating in the air until that Nexus explodes.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I feel like we're not going to be seeing a fight until maybe if Gassy Chuds tries to fight for grubs. But I think Lash-Back, especially their top side, are kind of wanting their first item to start really getting active. Briar and Ambessa can really start pumping out a lot of damage first item, and Mordekaiser kind of needs a little bit of more stats before he can 1v1 someone like Garen. But, I mean, Garen is kind of like not able to do that much. He keeps pressuring Mordekaiser, and he gets Bryo because of it, but he doesn't really ever have lethal. And Viego doesn't really have a lot of agency nor autonomy because he doesn't really have a lane that sets him up except for Corki Nico. But he isn't really playing around them all that much.
It's kind of a bait situation. Mom's going to get called in here, trying to get the final kill. He will get the proc here. Tony getting themselves on the board. That was a little greedy by the side of Yemeni.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big play, and especially with the giant wave that Smolder has on his side to be able to crash, they could low-key pressure this Corki. The damage from Xerath going down as well, so if they get a decent aggressive trade on the Corki, they could threaten a dive, but it seems they're not super-duper confident about it. They're going to use the Arcana Pulse.
Yeah. Oh, and this is going to be flying here. This is going to be worth it here. It's going to get the... Doesn't have the mana for it. It doesn't even get the auto attack. Tony, misplay. Wow. The snipe missed. Hopper might... That Nico's going to come on in if this... Oh, he actually snipes him. All Gucci. Oh, no.
You got a fadeaway W in the Comet, the Arcane Comet landing on his head. Literally last proc of Scorch. You hate to see it.
Oh, my goodness. A bit of trouble. Gonna try to set themselves. We clear the wave. Proc the... AoE damage, getting a little bit of movement speeds, prevents the gank. Now we're getting back in. That's an ult hit here. Jagan's going to go on in here. Going to get stunned up. That's going to be the full Pop Blossom, but you're still going to get eaten, bud. Jagan with their second kill. It feels like there's not a lot of proactive plays truly from either team right now, but the counterplay and the reactions from Lash-Back are really like... They're holding out their namesake very well here. They're able to just counter whatever, any of these little oversteps on the side of Gassy Chuds.
Yeah, and well, it's hard for them to be proactive just due to the way that their champions work, but now that they have 6 on Ambessa and on Briar, they're able to be a lot more proactive. Briar and Ambessa kind of need their ult to get onto these squishy backliners, and this happens.
That's it. The Ignite will take care of it. That is another kill captured there by Zhao. The Great One, in fact, taking over this mid-wave.
Yeah, I mean, that was just disturbing damage. Electrocute, full combo, has the Crypto Sword already completed. You're going to start seeing just all of this damage really compound. No one really on Gassy Chuds is able to shut down Ambessa this early. You might need to potentially, I would say, lane swap the top and mid, because Garen can bully Ambessa a lot, and I think Hui can deal with Mordekaiser. But with the way that the quests work now in the game, that's hard to do. So now you're kind of just sticking Hui into a really bad matchup. Speaking of that
Yeah,
matchup,
and there's a bit of an overstep there. There comes the artillery strike, but the Briar's going to track down and kill Yemeni. Nico taken out. This bot lane's really trying to make something happen here as the Garen does what they can. Viego has arrived, but the the Death Realm is going to lock in the Garen's going to flash away from the Devastate. But I think he's going to... Oh, there we go! Sad White Man will be able to secure that. Ben-Ass sitting on the edge here right now. That's a 200 to 400 gold lead. The barrier is trying to prep that. He will use it to not get popped by that rocket. This feels like... Oh, and the Viego's roamed mid here right now. Ambessa trying to get themselves out of danger. It's going to be another kill. Wow. Top side. Briar is going to take out the Garen, but Ambessa will be taken out by Mafia.
Just crazy that Garrett ult was able to kill Mordekaiser, but a really good trade from Briar, having to use the ult there to be able to get that kill, which does feel a little bit bad. You kind of want to use that ult for the dragon, the second dragon, to be able to stack those dragons. But if you're Lash-Back, you're not that scared of losing just one dragon. You already have one to sit on. So you have 5 extra minutes to scale before Gassy Chuds can get Soul and threaten you with Soul. Ocean Soul also isn't that strong of a Soul compared to things like Inferno.
Oh, there's gonna be a catch here. Tony's gonna take out all Gucci. Don't think they're respecting what this bot lane can really do. And he's just gonna hand this one over. Bad prediction on the side of Hopper, but they're still pushing forward here. This might actually... Oh boy, this is so close here. And that's still gonna be a secure here. Briar here to provide coverage. The Viego not able to provide any help to this bot lane. This bot lane started to get out of control here right now. This Xerath is not a support Xerath anymore. They're going to be building into damage right now. Tony on this Smolder is really piloting and very aggressively looking for every advantage that he can capture, and it's working out.
Yeah, and this is just going to be a really big issue for Gassy Chuds. I described bot lane as a ticking time bomb, but that bomb has already started to explode. The fact that Smolder has this large of a lead in this, and now we're just
another movement mid here. Briar, they're just going to blow up Wave. Mafia might have been there to try to provide support. Even Yemeni, there's no ability to deal with it right now. Gassy Chuds, they're out of gas. This is Lash-Back Foundation just holding full control. Yagan is making great plays and just positioning themselves very well with how the flow of this game is going here. Kind of leaving Frishy on an island to deal with the Viego and the Garen, but we're starting to get to that point, especially getting the steel-plated boots on. This spin to win is not really going to win much longer.
Well, the thing is like, the only real win condition that Gassy Chuds can try to look for to get themselves back into this game is top lane. It's the only person that has kill pressure at all. I mean, Porky can get trades, but Smolder is so strong. Oh, wait, I just
unless he oversteps a little bit too far. There is... Chasm Dive comes in. Yagan has arrived here. Ambessa trying to bait out. The Viego's going to get the kill, but does not go for the reset, while Briar is still chasing way down. Taking him to the end, and will get the final kill here on Mafia. That's 3 dead on the side of Gassy Chuds. This Briar starting is 7-1-1. Briar Fed is a absolute terror.
Yeah, I'm not super excited to watch. If I'm all Gucci, I'm like doing exactly what he's doing. Just trying to all in the Smolder at any time, because that's kind of what you need to do to get back into this game. Every other lane is losing. You're facing a Briar with 2 items and Ambessa that's about to hit 2 items. The game is going to be terrifying. So what do? Just try to all in as much as possible, but
that's
when you whiff everything like that, it's going to be really challenging.
Yes, it is. Sad White Man looking for what he can. He's good pull back there from Frishy to keep himself alive. Had already used his shield, so that ultimate from Garen would have been the end of it.
Map's gonna stabilize a little bit. I don't think Lash-Back should be using any big cooldowns right now, due to Rift Herald spawning right now and Dragon spawning. But if they can just get an easy gank like this,
Oh, and right back into it. Yagan godlike here,
God.
8-1-1 on this Briar. Did not have to use the Chasm Dive. Didn't have to use any ultimates to really make that play happen. Just kind of got to walk in, run it down. Now 3 coming mid here, but they might have gone too far here. Zhao's going to be able to evade that. Reads the play. That's a lot invested inside of Gassy Chuds. It's going to give away so much here. More damage onto this top lane turret by Frishy. Bot lane turret, it's going down. No one's going to be here to defend this.
yeah, and also Lash-Back can low-key contest this Herald if that's what Gassy Chuds are looking for. Especially when you kill Briar.
I was going to go Owen Hui. Gonna be able to get the stun off here. This might actually be too much, and that ultimate's gonna secure it. Big shutdown goes over to Elegance, really making that work. Caught into the death realm, but the turret's gonna start chiming in here right now. Can you get it? You must get this smash, but he will not now. Well, we're fighting between turrets here right now. Artillery comes in. Help Mom is gonna be able to actually put damage onto Yemeni, but it will not secure. And now Corky's gonna start running them down. Flash away by Hopper. Diego has arrived here, but the stun's gonna get missed. It's going to flash over it, and that's going to be 2 kills over into Mafia's pockets. Oh, and the Garen is so low, but Frishy caught in an awkward place here. He's going to have to try to proxy farm. Flash through here. Demasian Justice is available. He's going to get him. Sad White Man holds his ground with 1 health and makes Frishy regret it.
A good swing for Gassy Chuds to be able to play off of. This is going to secure them their second Drake as well. A lot of shutdowns, a lot of gold still going to Gassy Chuds' pocket to be able to play with. I think a weird play overall from Lash-Back though. They kind of were just going for plays because whatever, Briar ulting mid kind of cascaded a lot of mistakes happening. Especially after you get the bot play going, you use your flash, you kill Corky, you're getting bot tower, you don't need to force anything else. You're kind of chilling on the rest of the map. But while they're taking Dragon, and because they distracted them away with those fights, Briar's actually able to secure Rift Herald, which will allow these solo laners to accelerate even more and get the map accelerated, even though you're missing out on a Dragon. Which, if you're able to use it correctly and it wins you a fight, I think it's worth it.
Gank coming in, and he's going to use the public execution to actually buffer the Pop Blossom. It's not going to be enough to get a kill. The ultimate reset from Mafia to keep himself alive is fantastically timed. Oh, and that's going to hit. Bennett's going to be brought very low. That tick damage. Threatening lethality. Copper is going to be popped there a little bit. Ooh, and now the snipes are coming through. Bennett's going to have to dance through the mid lane. Get themselves out. That hit! Oh, and here comes the Chasm dive. Briar's on the bot lane, but we have another ult top lane. We're going to have to pay attention to this as Garen's about to get hit again. The Ignite's going to come out from Frishy. Going to take out Sad White Man. Doesn't look like anyone died from that Chasm dive. I feel like Yagan might have actually hit the Nico clone. So that's actually the first Chasm dive that Yagan's missed in this game so far.
Yeah, I get overall just accelerated map for Lash-Back will always be good. You usually see the opposite kind of map if you're playing a scaling comp, especially when you have Smolder, where you're kind of giving up dragons and giving up towers in order to have more time to accelerate and get gold. But overall, just really well played from Lash-Back. Something I'm a little worried about is the fact that Xerath has 2 needlessly large rods. In Church, I don't want to see a Rabadon's first item today. That's not something that I'm happy about.
I think we want to see the Investigate blown up. Mafia has been exploded, trying to get back to their team, but will be captured, will be killed. I still think it's going to favor. Yep, the tower goes down, so kills might be exchanged, but the objective being acquired by Lash-Back Foundation, that's the bigger win.
Yeah. I mean, Lash-Back Foundation are really just in the driver's seat. The only plays that Gassy Chud are kind of able to make that are proactive are...
Chasm dive connects, and Briar is in here. This Corky has to die, and that will be secured. Now Briar needs to get themselves out here. The ult from the way is going to go wide here. The snipe will connect, but it's not lethal. Xerath in a little bit of trouble. And Gassy Chuds walk away, and Lash-Back Foundation walk away with nothing really lost here.
Yeah, meanwhile, top lane, Mordekaiser just got 3 more plates under his belt, so he is Thanos. And so the gold just keeps swinging, in Lash-Back Foundation. Yeah, Gassy Chuds are able to get these shutdowns every once in a while, but you don't really see it in the gold lead that Lash-Back have. They've been slowly collecting and climbing the gold lead ladder and gold lead mountain that they're getting. Briar now on 3 items is just terrifying. This Mordekaiser, he's back, will just unlock his second. So, and the thing is Briar has autonomy in this map. He can kind of do whatever he wants with the way this champion works into theirs. And so anytime Lash-Back Foundation want to make a play happen, they have the tools to do it. They're in the driver's seat. And Gassy Chuds, they just have to be smart and try to respond the best that they can each step of the way.
Yeah, now we're gonna see how they play the map here. No objective really to contend with until this Ocean Drake comes up. We're fighting over chickens right now, T-Von. That will be taken away here.
It's the LCK special is usually contesting chickens, but not 20 minutes into the game. They're just trying to take space and maintain space a minute before Dragon. Oh my god, I just realized a team is playing for river control a minute before the Dragon. I could cry right now, Church. This is really great team play from Lash-Back. They have an objective in mind, and they're playing as a team to maintain pressure and presence to secure this objective. Not 15 seconds before, not 15 seconds after, but a minute before. Really well played so far.
Ooh, and Bessie trying to get the public execution will not connect. Elegance will get out alive, but that might as well count for a pick here. As long as Mbessa can get themselves back, this should set them up to have control over the River and Dragon, but I'm seeing backs in the Tribush and the Sembessa. This feels like a little bit of a misplay, unless they believe that the pressure that they provided in that juggle is going to buy them enough time to get back on the map and to secure this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, I think Mbessa will be back on map in time, just with the way the home guards work, and also the fact that Lash-Back still have that river control. They have really good wards to see if they need to bring him back faster. And also they have the poke and space control of Smolder's era, so this should just be theirs. I'd want them. Okay.
That will be secure. Viego's going to go over to try to get it, but will not land the... Nope. Chasm Dive does not connect, so Yagan does not get to go on another trip to ruin someone on Gassy Chud's life. This is going very well. This is actually very good at a Lash-Back Foundation. This feels very well coordinated and far better coordinated than I would expect. Kaiser and Alune are actually the best, or at least the main shot callers on this team, talking to the captain, Tony Benas. But this has been a pleasant surprise to see how well they've sort of coordinated around this Dragon, how well they've been able to kind of play together and keep things contained on the side of Gassy Chuds. Especially since, if you really look at it, there aren't a lot of engage tools for either team. But Lash-Back is making it work.
Yeah, I would say Lash-Back has more than Gassy Chuds do. The only person that really can do anything and make any play happen on the side of Gassy Chuds is Nico. But with the failure that was the laning phase for Yemeni, you kind of like lose that confidence as the engaged player to make plays happen. You're kind of feeling like you're always on the back step because you've made so many mistakes already. So, and you can kind of see that in his gameplay, starting to play a little bit more nervous, a little bit more reserved to make sure you're not making more mistakes and not running it down a little bit more. And Lash-Back obviously have those easier tools, but hey,
he's going to connect here. This Smolder's about to get blown up here. We'll be able to flash away the counterplay, and this Nico is going to be dodging the Arcane Barrage coming through. Corky trying to step up to protect his support from getting blown up from afar. No one dies. A lot of damage exchanged. But Gassy Chuds is the one that back off the mid wave.
I mean, that went just as perfect as it could for Gassy Chuds' bot lane. The really good engage, followed up with a great combo in all of the damage output that you could need, but it wasn't enough. But my god.
Ooh, big fight in the jungle here. That's going to be a big exchange of ultimates. The Viego's going to be able to get the reset. 2 kills captured by All Gucci, powering up this Corky that little bit more. That might have not have been advised there from Yagan and Zhao to go in, but they did. This mid tower will drop, cutting down that gold lead. They're pinging for the Baron, and Demacian Justice will slay the Dragon, just running him down. This is a huge swing here. Gassy Chuds have taken this game by the horns and are wrestling it back. All Gucci has made the call and is trying to take down this Baron. The rest of Gassy Chuds look like they are arriving I don't think there's much for Mordekaiser or this Zerath to do.
I actually think there is a way for him to get into the pit with Zerath poke, but he just needs to walk forward. He's taking too much time.
Oh, they're trying to snipe it or something here. The snipe's going to come through. It will not connect. Good attempt from Hopper. Kind of a throwaway there, I feel like, from Frishy. But the Baron will be collected by Gassy Chuds. That gold lead was about 3 or 4K about 2 minutes ago. It has now been brought down to 1.2K. We're experiencing a big shift now that we're entering 25 plus minutes here, T-Von.
Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, it was a decent attempt from Mordekaiser. I mean, you might as well. I didn't see if there was a shutdown or not, but like, might as well. There's a world where you flash ult Diego and somehow Zerath steals. That is Rabadon's first item, Zerath. Wow, that is something for sure. I was going to bring up the fact that like the reason that the whole play started is Briar and Mbessa going a little bit too far. But it wasn't the fact that like there are too many people. It's more the fact that the build... Oh, they're just going to fight again.
Oh, they're fighting again here right now. Briar's going to try to get somewhere, going to get a little bit of heal, but will be executed here. Elegance sniping in from far away. Hopper trying to provide cover, but they're going to get their kill. The jungler is down. Hellmom coming in to try to clear the wave, but this Baron buff is going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Ben asks 224 here, right on the edge of actually ascending on this dragon. Can just get one more block, but... Oh, and there it is. Is it too late to save this turret, though? An attempt to back here. Corki's low. It's a little bit on edge. Chasm dive not available because On is dead. Now the shot's going to come through. They're going to secure the wave, and this Mordekaiser is going to get caught out here. He's going to try to... Cannot actually get anyone into the Death Realm. Will get blown up. Kill secured by Mafia. And now the mid lane's getting pressured here. This is an entire twist. They've put on the nitrous. This car is going. Gassy Chuds have put in the top ethanol. Public execution misses. Can't get anything on the back end. That is a massive sweep. The gold advantage is now in Gassy Chuds' favor.
Yeah, and it's really all because Briar and Mbessa are playing just a little bit too far forward for the way that their build works. And this is a critique that I didn't really want to bring up because it feels really nitpicky, but we're starting to see the weakness of what they're building. And not to be a build Andy, but they're so squishy, both of them. They're going full lethality / crit for the Briar, and so you kind of get one rotated by the Hui, Corki, Nico, which is a lot of damage, and so does Viego. These champs that, yeah, they might have been behind, but they still have a lot of base damage, and so you have no resistance. They're just going to shred you and one-tap you. And Mbessa doesn't even get her full combo up, unfortunately.
As the dive comes in here, the Briar's going to show up there. They're going to get blown up. The Hui and the Briar exchanged. The burn ticking from the Smolder is good news. The win condition has been activated, but can they actually buy the space for Tony to kind of carry the rest of this game here? Because you pointed out one of the best things about Briar that I've seen just in being an ARAM-aholic is that Briar ends up in a super tanky, hyper-sustained, cannot be killed, and still damaging state if built a certain way. And this mana right now just doesn't feel like it's really lending to that. The tankiest thing right now is the Edge of Night there, the second little purple item that gives them the shield that prevents the first spell from doing anything to them, but that could be easily popped by a Corki Rocket. And end of it's a lot of auto-attacking that's going to come from Viego or from the Garen if the silence connects. It's just not really enough. It's not exactly what I would want to be seeing on your jungler.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like if you go Bruiser build on either of these champions, they just feel unkillable. And that's kind of what I prefer to build when I'm this far ahead, is making sure I can't die. Because, yeah, you have a lot of damage, but they also don't have a lot of resistances or HP to resist your damage. So you're kind of already doing the same amount of damage. And we're starting to see Mbessa and Briar, they use their burst. They use all of their cooldowns on one person. Yeah, they pop them. But then what do they do from there? They can't survive because they're really squishy. They don't have any more cooldowns to use on anyone else. So you exchange Mbessa and Briar for two other people that there might blow up, and then now Smolder and Zerath have nobody to sit in front of them, so they just have to take Hui and Corki damage and potentially even further Nico engage with Garen and Viego sprinting at you that are also building Bruiser, so they're hard to kill. Just feels like a really mismanagement of resources and gold that allows Gassy Chuds a really easy way back into this game.
Yeah, they're going to try to jump into this game right now. The public execution will actually miss here. Briar's about to get executed, gets ignited, brought down to one, and then dead. Looks like Mbessa needs to get out here. Hellmom's going to come in to try to actually clear the wave here, but this Smolder is getting smoked. Gets knocked down by the combo. Nico will go golden to dodge the turret damage. Viego has found themselves onto Mbessa, going to do a dip dance dodge and will not be able to get the execution. Mbessa will take that kill. Little bit of reprieve here. This Mordekaiser finally stepping up to actually get something done across the map. While you were waxing poetical there about how this is and is not going for Lash-Back, I was noticing the Mordekaiser is playing quite protective for some reason. The teleport is available. They were hiding in the bush when the Garen was pushing mid-wave right at the inhibitor turret, and I just feel like there's a lack of proper coordination from Lash-Back on what the players should be doing, whether that Mordekaiser should be meeting the Garen in the mid-wave, or they're splitting their focus too much. Oh, and that's going to be a Death Realm put in. Nico's going to try to walk away here. The slow is going to try to help, but these obliterates are not landing. There we go. Shutdown acquired here. Stats acquired. And now he's going to jump onto this Corki. He's going to be able to slow him down. Obliterate misses again, unfortunately. He's running out of health to pull this off. And the Corki will get the... He will not. Elegant steals it.
And the Mordekaiser E actually pulled Corki out of where the Briar ult was going. So unfortunate.
I don't know what's happening right now. Mbessa has arrived. Huge damage there coming from Lee Briar. We know that to be the case. Oh, that's going. Oh, and that's going to be a miss here. Diego up here trying to get something. That's not going to work out here. Corki's been here the whole time here. Actually sneaks up. Oh my gosh, the call is from inside the house, and he's going to be on the run now, but he's got damage to spare. This might get way more of a threatening situation than Lash-Back Foundation would like him. Try not to trade back kills. It will be secure. The shutdown gold will go over to Zhao. Things are on fire, T-Von, and I will point this out right now. The dragon advantage is on the side of Gassy Chuds right now.
Yeah, 45 seconds left for the soul for Gassy Chuds, or soul point for Lash-Back. In looking at the summoner spells, there's still a lot of really important spells left up for the side of Lash-Back. They have Flash on Mbessa, Smolder, and Xerath, which is absolutely crucial. And no flashes for the side of Gassy Chuds. So Lash-Back have a lot more tools to be able to play this, and it seems that they're on map first because of that push out bot lane. So they're able to be on map, they're able to get river control, and so now Gassy Chuds have to take a lot of damage to get into this river. The only problem and the way that Gassy Chuds could potentially win this is if Lash-Back just engage on the first target they see and go way too deep and just give up the river control. Just sit back, let Smolder and Xerath do a little damage, pull the dragon into your own corner, and you're good to go.
Yeah, a little bit of extra brush here from the Ocean Soul, giving them some coverage, letting them play around here right now. The public execution will confirm. Nico gets absolutely broken up. Garen's going to come into the middle of this fight. It's going to actually execute the Briar, but I don't know if that's going to be really what matters here. Smolder is allowed to ungage and go off. Viego's going to be in the middle of it. Can't get anything done. Corki's late to the party. The investigator will dive away, trying to get the kill, but nope, that's too far, my man. You're going to have to die here. Double kill over to the Mordekaiser, landing these obliterates. If you're missing your obliterates on a Mordekaiser, it really bothers me. It's your biggest super damage thing, especially on an isolated target. But Frishy is reconciling and making things happen. I think they're going for Baron.
They can. It's going to be a little risky, 15 seconds on Briar, but you do shred it pretty heavily with Smolder damage, and also Mordekaiser has that bonus damage to monsters. So I feel like they will shred it, and you have Mbessa and Xerath to zone away a potential Hwei. The only way that they can really steal is like a Hwei 2W, but it doesn't do all that much damage to Baron. It's just a mismanagement of spell timings, but too little too late. They're able to secure a Baron, and really great swing of gold back into Lash-Back's favor, and they should be able to potentially either get the standing gold of the tier 2s or be able to potentially get inhibitors or just force a fight, which it seems Lash-Back is very good at, and win the game off of that.
That Severing Bolt was actually really close there right before the smite came in, but Lash-Back confirmed the Baron. Got 2.5 minutes left. There's 2 turrets left on the map for them to take, and maybe they could break an inhibitor. They just gotta actually get these waves moving. None of them are really in their favor right now. They get all waves pushing to actually get themselves to where they're sieging down one of these last 2 towers. And that's going to be the next thing on the list, but I feel like they're going to be looking for another fight. They will. The Nico's going to get the Pop Blossom off. Goes golden. That's going to lock it up 20. Briar's gone really low. Mom's going to go wide. Gets nothing. Public Execution will capture right at the Arcane. Sniping through, but this Garen has arrived in the middle of everybody. The Smolder is gone. Diego will catch. Oh, this Aerith damage coming through. Briar's going to be able to get a double kill here. It's going to neutralize anything that can be done by Gassy Chuds in the back end of this. The top tier 2 has been taken by the Mordekaiser. I'm kind of appreciating Frishy keeping the what is the main thing. The main thing, gotta destroy towers in this game to win the game. So I can appreciate that little bit, but this Baron's going to be over in a minute. They're only going to be alive in 20 seconds. There's only a 1.3k gold lead really acquired here. Okay, second tower. Okay. Making me a fool here, Lash-Back, but getting something done here with most everyone dead on the map.
Yeah, I mean, overall, just too fast from Lash-Back. They're not playing through waves in the way that that vision works. They have Frisky, who doesn't have TP. I mean, he has the top lane quest TP, but it takes way too long. So let him push top. He can't be matched by one person. He has a lot of prio. You just have to give him time. Just wait for two more waves. Wait for someone to match Mordekaiser and you get vision on them. Then you can invade the Raptors. Because if you don't see if anyone's matching Mordekaiser, then maybe you're outmatched. And it's going to be a 4v5, which is exactly what we saw. So Lash-Back, just take a breath, play on your waves, allow Smolder and Xerath to just play their game as the melees, as Mbessa Briar. You don't have to just immediately kill. You can chill, you can breathe. But with the Baron being expired now, a minute for the whatever soul, and this Corki is dead as hell.
I'm going to land here, and it's going to be raked in and destroyed. Frishy collecting their 6th kill on the day. That's a very good pick. 57 seconds. That Corki is only going to spawn right as the dragon spawns. That's a big deal right now. Lash-Back Foundation moving to take river control, I believe. At least take over the chicken coop.
Yeah, I mean, not having a Corki, which is, I would say, arguably your strongest carry right now. I mean, not arguably. I'd say it's factually your strongest carry. He's going to be up 3 seconds before Dragon. So if Gassy Chuds don't stall the Dragon somehow 4v5 for about maybe 10-15 seconds, Lash-Back could easily burst the Dragon and get in, get out. Obviously, they can go for a coin flip steal, but with the amount of pressure that Mordekaiser is also putting top, this is going to be a massive problem for them as well.
Yeah, and I don't think Garrett's got a chance of actually executing this Mordekaiser. Death Realm has locked him in. That's going to go away, but this slow and this burn is going to follow you till you die. Pullback is going to bring him in. The Obliterate will execute him. The Corki just spawned. Dragon is there, is being taken. Chuds have to just give it up. Diego's going to ult in. Looking for it. Very good timing on this. It's gotten really close here, but it will be secured. Briar nails the smite. Diego is taken out. Advantage secured. Oh, that's a jump in all by themselves, but the preempted Pop Blossom will save the Nico's life for just a second. Help Mom will tag, but not finish the way. Oh, and he wants it here. Tony is all in. That is 4 dead. Oh, and now Mbessa wants more of it. We're just going all in here, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to auto him down. That is a very late delayed ace. Lash-Back Foundation look like they are primed to take the game 1 here. 9.5k gold lead. It took a while, T-Von, but we're going to have ourselves a win here at 38 minutes. A brawl of a situation, but the proactive play from Lash-Back will secure them the first victory of the night.
Yeah, a bumpy road for Lash-Back Foundation, but you know, it's a road nonetheless, a road to the victory screen. They just had a comp that was able to accomplish what they wanted a lot easier. They're able to just fight without having to really think about it, just by the way that their champions operate and work. They had the gold lead to be able to do that, and Gassy Chuds just couldn't have an answer for this Mordekaiser, who was slowly getting so strong in the side lane. A really great counter pick for that first pick Garen. That it didn't allow the Garen to really be impactful at all this game. Corki tried his hardest to make this game even, but when you don't really have a a front line and you don't really have a lot of space against these fed members of Briar and Bessa, there's not much you can really do. So really, it was a good struggle and a good attempt from Gassy Chuds, but overall, Lash-Back Foundation just had the easier tech and they went through with it.
Indeed, here and looking at that damage from this Briar compared to the Viego is actually the grossest comparison to be made here. The damage there is whatever, but I really have to hand it out to Jagan nailing so many of those chasm dives and securing more often than not the kill, even as they made themselves incredibly squishy, incredibly vulnerable to any counter moves. The hourglass from the Nico just baiting them in, but they pull through. They pull it out. Lash-Back Foundation with the game one win of the night. We're going to get ourselves into a little bit of a break before we get into game two's draft. But so far, it looks like Lash-Back have hold of this series and are primed to get the win over Gassy Chuds tonight. We'll see you soon. Rolling into game two here, T-Von, we've got a little bit of a change up. I'm going to walk through here for the rosters. Point value is up for both teams technically, but only by one little point for Lash-Back. While Gassy Chuds have done a big little bit of rotation. Mafia's gone into the mid lane. Prophet's in for the top lane. Lacuna in for the jungle. Bot lane, though, still Gucci, still Yemeni. Meanwhile, Lash-Back. Oh, I might have gotten the names of the teams mixed up, but that was Gassy Tread's Lash-Back Foundation. Frishy's still in the top lane. Kaiser, with all my heart, is their IGN name, but Kaiser will be in the jungle. Still have Zhao, our great one, in the mid lane with Ben S and Hopper holding down the bot lane. So, few little changes. And now we're rolling into bans here right now. That Volibear ban we're still getting rid of these NPC characters, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean they're just target bans. You gotta love it. This at this level of play, there's not really anything to be able to talk about with like specific target bans because it's just like what, like I'm sure the draft conversation was, yo guys, which of their OPGG top like #1 champions are you guys most afraid of? I don't want to play against Bard. Okay, we can ban Bard. You know, like it's probably
Right.
super simple. I do like the adaptation of the Garen ban though, because it seems that both of these teams just love Garen. So you know, let's just take it out and not play that weird game of all right, who has the better counter to Garen and. It seems that this league also just loves Garen as a whole. So instead, just let them oh, you're going to ban Garen? Okay, we're going to first pick Mbessa, something that like hard carried last game, and we'll be
Mhm.
happy, wipe our hands off clean. And the newly buffed Shyvana.
Interesting. Have not seen this in play yet. This should be pretty exciting. I've saw the kit when the rework happened. Very much appreciate the updating of the Shyvana because the worst thing about old school Shyvana was that you'd ult in with your dragon, but you would push the entire enemy team away from your team, basically isolating yourself and saving them. Not the best synergistic, action. You had to pull off a flank or get yourself in and ult backwards. So it was a very awkward thing back in the day. And Gassy sticking with the dragon theme feels coincidental. I hope they don't overcommit on that one. Be a little silly. I can't think of any other dragon characters, but
Well, you know, there's the dragon tamer skins and all of that. You know, maybe they're going
right.
for a TFT set here going on. There is that new TFT update I heard, so maybe they're going for a synergy there. Caitlyn being the answer to Smolder is something that I'm excited to see. Caitlyn is like just kind of traditionally and structurally very much a counter to Smolder because Caitlyn is a lane bully that likes to develop and make tempo go fast and consistent, and Smolder can't really keep up. You do need to draft yourself a really hard winning bot lane and a jungler that can play towards that Caitlyn lane. If you leave it on an island or leave it to let the other jungler camp it, the champion is just extremely useless. So you Lash-Back now kind of have this target on their head of perma pushing bot, and let's try to get a really winning bot lane. But with Karma being locked in, it's going to be really difficult to find a winning support into Smolder Karma.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really caster heavy bot lane instead of Gassy Dreads. This Karma really pretty much bolstering what was gonna be a very painful lane experience for this Smolder and kind of a very little frustrating situation where the support was not confirmed by Lashback. So these next round of bans from Gassy is pretty much going to take away any good options. The Nami being taken away now, I would expect the Nautilus maybe to be taken away after that. The Mbessa, I believe we're assuming, is going to be going mid lane. So this is a Gwen top, and correct me, is Shyvana a top laner again or still a jungler? Like, how is that
Um,
sort of being split these days?
I think she's probably gonna be jungle. To be honest, she hasn't really. She hasn't. I haven't seen her competitively. Nor she was really strong on release, and then they tuned down her numbers, and she kind of has the same issues as she did pre-rework, where like you can kind of just walk away from her. But with this new rework, she kind of has that AP Shyvana kind of play. So I'm assuming we're gonna be seeing it jungle. And you know,
But AP Shyvana is always such a cheese thing. Like even on the ARAM side of the world, if I see an AP Shyvana, I don't feel like I'm gonna win the game because they have early damage. It's a nuke option, but it just doesn't end up sustaining,
yeah.
throughout a fight and is blown up easily. And Shyvana always does her best when she's allowed to walk at people, be pretty hard to kill, and still be able to put out consistent damage.
I think the thing that makes her a little bit different nowadays is the fact that there's a lot of new items that kind of allow her to kind of be this hybrid champion, things like Dusk Dawn,
Mm.
but also the new boots that are out, the Omnivamp boots are probably going to be really strong for her. So I could totally see like a Trinity Force, like Spear of Shojin into like Riftmaker Dusk Dawn, something like that, kind of just on hit, try to get as much as possible. But again, the question is like, are you able to be put in a position where you can get auto attacks off? Because if you're kind of just being able to be walked away from, like so far, Caitlyn Soraka can do really well, then I really worry for the Shyvana.
Yeah, I love the Soraka being locked in. Feels like it'd be a pretty easy target, and maybe for the Shyvana or the Lissandra to go in and, blow up. But there's not really a lot of super engage options right now for really either side. The Ambessa's got the public execution maybe as an engage, but that's usually not what you want to do with that. You're gonna get blown up typically or entombed for what Gassy Chuds has prepared. The Urgot for Frishy top lane, I believe this could be an Urgot or Gwen in the jungle. Could be
Or
an Urgot
Ambessa could
mid.
technically be a juggle as well. I'm really confused though because they have two really good anti-tank top laners of Gwen and now Urgot, but they banned Cassante and Ornn, which like if you blind pick Cassante or Ornn, you just pick Gwen into it and then insta win. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe it's Ambassa top and they're trying to find a mid laner. And maybe their mid laner is Urgot into Lissandra. No clue. But Olaf being the fifth pick, seems really smart because Lash-Back Foundation have these really immobile top laners of Ambessa, Gwen, Urgot. And I mean immobile from Ambessa as in like you can't really run away from Olaf if he gets on top of you. Same with Shyvana. So they have a lot of brawl and a lot of just kill the front line with Olaf, Lissandra, and Smolder Shyvana. So Lashback, their comp is really gonna struggle unless their Caitlyn and Soraka get really, really ramped up and can take over the game and shred through these chunky HP bars that Gassy Chuds have.
Yeah, and I'm just looking over to double check what I know about these. Well, okay, so we're getting confirmation here. That Urgot's topside, it is, yep. So it's going to be the Gwen in the jungle with the Ambessa in the mid lane, going up against the Lissandra. Yep, Prophet with the Olaf in the top lane, Shyvana in the jungle, the Lissandra in the mid lane, and then of course the Smolder and Karma in the bot side. So that should set us up and set us well for at least how this is going to look and proceed. Zhao's gonna be able to keep comfort, but Kaiser with the Gwen feels very much like I don't see Gwen as a playmaker by any means, and is much more of a farm up and get later into the game. I'm very curious to see if they're gonna have any invades and try to go in and beat up the Shyvana. But many questions to be answered when we get back. We're gonna go take a quick break, and we'll see you on the Rift. Shyvana in the jungle, Olaf up top, Gwen in the jungle, with Mbessa in the mid. The profundity and the questions that arise inside of this league as we go through this season multiply exponentially, and we're going to hopefully get some answers here in Game 2 of Lash-Back Foundation versus Gassy Chuds. And this Soraka is in a lot of pain right now, T-Von. Flash auto in. Yemeni gets first blood. Okay.
I mean,
I can feel why you gain yourself to put yourself back together, T-Von.
I mean, like, I understand why they're fighting. This is a strat that, like, it has been popping up recently because mid bush is really important for a lot of bot lanes, and as mid laner, you can do a really fast trade and usually make it on time. But the pathing from Soraka is just extremely incorrect. If you are going to be contesting for mid bush, you need to go through the first bush and then go to the second bush from the first bush. Because it denies things just like what we just saw. If you took the proper pathing, you would never die. But because he's in the middle of the open, every skill shot just hit. So now the lane that needs to be extremely ahead and needs to, starting at level 1, get a lot of pressure going and a lot of lane push, has now already lost both summoners off of Soraka, who can now just get perma-ran down by Shyvana as they start to push up in lane. So already Lash-Back Foundation in a really tough situation if the Gassy Chuds punish it correctly.
Yeah, a little note. Yemeni actually went back to spend that gold to get themselves a pair of boots. Can appreciate the desire to get the advantage, but it's kind of left them at an XP deficit and has allowed for the wave to get pushed in. But they're going to be able to survive and hold.
Yeah, I mean, like, the trade happening honestly doesn't affect the lane itself because everyone kind of had a recall after, so it was a stalemate, so they will still get the push, but it's more about what happens with when the jungler gets involved. The Soraka is going to be a really easy target. And they on that crash, they didn't get any wards down. So I don't know if they know where Shyvana is based on that start, which really worries me because with how heavy they're trading, this Soraka or this Caitlyn could be easy dinner for Shyvana if she wraps around through try and just flanks them.
Yeah, right now they need to crash this next wave in and maybe even look for a reset because Shyvana's here on the bot side of the map, but Gwen is up taking out her blue right now. So there is no support for this Caitlyn and Soraka bot lane at this time.
Yeah, we see Shyvana already hovering. They did place a ward. A weird timing from Lacuna. I feel like he actually could have gotten there in time. But really good information. I disagree with the fact that Gwen is pathing to the top side. I think she should have done the top to bot to match where Shyvana is, but the same person might
gonna land. I would just be auto-attacking there. I don't know why that wasn't played out. Caitlyn trying to step forward to provide some space here, but the Soraka's the entire focus. It's what they want, and they're going to get it here. Lacuna getting that kill. Accelerate one of the dragons, and it should get you a win, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's the punishment that Soraka should be receiving for that level 1 sin. And Caitlyn is going to feel a lot of pressure with this giant stacked wave. Needs to collect all of it, and Splodder and Karma will allow them to collect it, which is nice of them. They could have pressured a little bit, but they're going to have the recall advantage and be able to get off of map with a pretty heavy buy with Sheen and cooldown boots. And that allows them to just be able to be even worse on this Caitlyn Soraka, and this Soraka is not going to have a good time at all.
No, going to be a pain train there in the bot lane. Probably more of the fight that we saw in the last game, and a full engagement here right now. I don't think you're ready for this. He's going to follow him in. The Ignite ticks, just needs one more auto, but Prophet will get away. The root's going to land, and now we're engaging. That fight is occurring, and now the Caitlyn is the one in trouble here, out of mana and out of health, but will survive. No overextension, but there's no junglers. They're playing a little bit too carefully here. They could have gone further.
But overall, I mean, they don't really have champions that can get a lot of early plays going. We don't have a lot of early CC. It's kind of through Lissandra, if anything. And I think Lissandra's actually be a really vital part of Gassy Chud's comp to watch for, is how she moves around the map, because she's kind of going to be, it sounds very silly, but she's going to be the main engage tool for Gassy Chuds, as she can kind of just throw herself into a team fight and ult herself and kind of force Lash-Back to fight back, allowing these melees to start brawling and throwing punches at each other. So that's something that you need to watch. How does he skirmish? How does he play around jungle?
Oh,
How does he
going to come through. The silence is going to be a great little addition here. It's going to Mafia steps out and Tombs himself going to be able to claw back to their turret. The root's going to land, but no more follow-up from the Gassy Chuds. They're taking out the Drake. First Drake actually snuck right underneath their noses, and Chuds are going to be able to get out.
Yeah, which is not what you want if you have Caitlyn on your team. Caitlyn wants to be stacking dragons, especially against Smolder. We just talked about this last game. But what even puts more salt into the wound is the fact that Siobhan is being played. So she is scaling after those dragons as well. Trade topside. Don't think it's lethal. Yeah, it's just a big chunk.
I was thinking about how last game went, and most of the manner with which Lash-Back got their kills and started their fights was just with bush play, death brushes, walking into the enemy team really just in these jungle fights, and fighting over chicken, fighting over red buff. And I kind of expect something similar here. Big fight in the jungle, but that's just going to be Prophet taking out Frishy. Not much of an opportunity there to counterplay. Doesn't even think his missile got fired. So level advantage maybe on the side of the Olaf, and that just meant with Ragnarok in hand, was able to run him down. Yep, did not even get the ultimate out. So maybe a bit of a misplay there from the Urgot. Now that's going to start accelerating the vice captain, as I've been told, of the Gassy Chuds and Prophet. Mom's going to be called in here. This Caitlyn is low. Once again, Barry is put out here. The heal has been brought through. Could be able to survive, but this is some dominance being asserted once again by all Gucci and Yemeni.
Yeah, I mean, just continuing to put the pressure down on the bot side, continuing to push back against Caitlyn, who needs to get these plates, but almost lethal.
Very close there. Public Execution going to be able to get the buffers timed up. Mafia taken out here, slain by Zhao. Root landing, we're kind of baiting this fight in here. Ben has taken a lot of damage. Soraka's going to step in, but it feels lackluster.
Yeah, not a lot of mana for Soraka to play with. And the HP bar of all Gucci allows him to kind of play 1v2, especially with the mana that he does have. So able to get themselves a better recall than Caitlyn Soraka. Caitlyn just keeps backing with kind of poverty items. You're getting a pickaxe, just got a cloak of agility, which you never feel good about buying. Like just getting crit chance doesn't really do anything in lane, whereas your enemy Smolder just barely got a Caulfield's hammer with boots, so a lot stronger on this back. And again, the longer Smolder has to be able to play, the easier life will get. Lissandra trying her best to survive, though. I would wish the Lacuna would play more around her, especially with for getting so much pressure from Zhao, as well as this Gwen.
Yeah, we're not really seeing much play out of the junglers. There was that one kill bot lane when they knew the Soraka didn't have flash. But since then, I might be eating my words, but this is actually the Karma coming in, trying to create a little bit of a disparity in this mid lane. But yeah, the junglers aren't doing anything. They're both just max farming. Actually, Lacuna's out-farmed their mid laner at this time, which is kind of funny. But yeah, there's not much action coming out here right now.
Yeah, I mean, neither jungler can. Again, they don't really have the laners to do so. Speaking of laners, though, bot lane once again Armageddon.
Root's going to come on in. Mom's going to come in as well. That's going to be a dead Tony. Ben showing his ass there. A little bit of an overstep. Not the best play there, but not with perfect knowledge. Did not have the ward up at that tri-bush, and that Karma got to just walk in and root him down. Gets cleaned up.
Yeah. 2-2 boots Karma. Can just spread out people.
Oh, that root actually lands here. That was a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Caitlyn Karma is kind of already out of this game. It's going to be really difficult for them to recover. So then you're now looking at Zhao to be able to make some plays happen. But Olaf flipping sides top.
Oh, and there we go here. The Gwen has arrived here as the call. Yep. Fear Beyond Death not used, but still gets secured. Just needed the needles to finish that one off. So Kaiser with all my Kaiser. I know it's hard, ladies and gentlemen, to actually get these names straight, but we'll be able to actually go back, get their first item. I believe it's the Dusk and Dawn. Captured, bought there up. So first major item has been secured by this Gwen. The power farming, pulling through. Waiting for the Triforce to be finished by the Shyvana. Root's gonna land. Monster Q is gonna put some hurt onto Zhao, but he will walk away.
Yeah, Dusk Dawn being a big buy for Gwen to be able to play for the second dragon. Big spike. The only other person that has a spike is this Essence Reaver Malgucci, but Ambessa just really achieved the Crypto Sword, but I think it's too little too late. Gwen is just going to look for a flip on a steal, just let her die and try to get the dragon and see what happens.
Oh, nope, does not secure it. Will get taken out. That's another kill going over to the Smolder's pocket. Not what you want to see here. The bully lane, the idea that was brought in. This damage actually exchange is falling through here. The suppressed, grinded, eaten up here. Frishy. He's activated. He's figured out how to actually deal with this trade out right now. That Olaf may not be able to actually abuse him as much as before. Mom's going to come in here. Barrier is going to be used just to keep Tony alive that little bit. Mafia is on the wrong side of the map and 1 health right now. About to walk into Gwen's hands here. Kaiser is going to be very happy for this gift. And goodness, they are low in the spot lane right now. No dive is incoming. Will get the smite damage off, so kill secured.
Flash smite to secure that kill, bro.
Oh, they get the counter kill. Actually, the wish comes through. Clutch. There's no stacks really built up here right now, but they cannot catch Smolder. So a little bit of a reprieve for Tony and Hopper in the spot lane. This Urgot, though, not gonna be lasting very long. Good damage, but Lacuna getting activated. And this Gwen just going all in right now. This feels a little bit ridiculous. It's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna stick around. Ward is gonna keep an eye, let everyone know that Kaiser's actually invaded. Gonna get harassed.
Your mid laner's not here, bro.
Yeah, Lassandra's moving over right now. Kaiser's gonna get the Gromp and maybe try to get a kill here, but the help's arrived. This feels a little silly.
You know what, she got the Gromp, that's all that matters. Got Gromp, got 80 carry flash, died to someone that wasn't the enemy jungler, or no, it was the jungler that got the kill. Well, other than that, you know, great play from Kaiser. Gromp secured, flash secured, so, you know, maybe your bot lane will get a kill on that Smolder because he has no flash. Probably not with the way that the game has been going.
I think Soraka's dead. No?
Nah,
oh, no. Oh. Wishes might get. Oh, that's so close. That's so scary.
Yeah, that's fine. He's fine.
You know, I gotta tell you, T-Von, I've never had froglets, but I never thought they were worth dying over like what Kaiser just did there in that jungle. But what do I know?
That plus 90 is so nice, though. And that XP boost. There's nothing like a Gromp. You know
T-Von,
what I mean?
I'm pretty sure myself and the audience can hear the sarcasm in your voice, so you can keep the bit going. I will play along, but I want you to know we all sense your bullshit.
Hey, we watched Blabber flash for a Scuttle Crab at Worlds, so you know what I mean? Like,
we all did watch that, and we all did just watch Frishy destroy Prophet.
He doesn't need his ult. He just doesn't.
He doesn't. He whiffed that entirely, and that might have given Prophet a bit of encouragement. Well, that didn't work out. Urgot might be about to get walked down. Gonna try to get the damage. Can't get all the shotgun. Oh, the flash away. Does get the Monster Q. Yemeni playing on the edge there. Has to use a summoner spell to get the counter kill.
Okay, but the fact that Olaf didn't get an assist, like, is that even worth it for Karma? I mean, like, gold on Karma can matter, but, like, of all enchanters, she's kind of the worst. And you're also selling the Smolder out a little bit. He's getting a lot of pressure down bot lane for you get a kill, but I don't know. Urgot is able to just kind of chill. But this bot lane is about to get crunched on here, Church.
Now, surprisingly, Smo's been able to keep up on their stacks. Mom's going to come in, provide some damage. Lassandra's going to go and roots nothing. Does get the Entomb onto the Soraka, which is It's being expected. There's been a teleport into that bot lane. The Urgots arrives, gonna miss the flip. Good backstep from Mafia, but the Fear Beyond Death. Hook, line, and sinker. Eaten, secure. Dragon's in here, but you just might be the next second set of chicken legs for this Urgot team. You were lit aflame. Will be secured by Kaiser. Counter kills come in. The Caitlyn's down, but that's another root here. I'm sorry, this Urgot is doing work right now, man. Frishy, I like what you got, man. Your lobster eggs. Good eating right now. Now, running around. Turret shot. Oh boy, this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, he was going so good, and now
It was going so great, and then we just
now
decided
this
to dive.
Karma's-
Why are we diving, bro?
this Karma's 4-1-6 right now, man. What's going? Oh my! Lash-Back is still making decent work of it. If the Gwent can get the Herald, but no.
Oh, we don't have smite up. Oh,
No,
no.
don't have smite, and now Prophet gets to
Oh, wow.
like I still feel like the game is in Lash-Back's hands, but the entire fall apart there on the bot side of
Well,
the map. Oh no, and Caitlyn, I don't know why you ever went near the water. You're gonna get out. Wish didn't even have to get used. That's a knock up. Goes into the wall. It doesn't even hit the turret. Soraka flashes over the wall here. Still has to run away from this Olaf. No help is coming their way. Mbessa. No, I think we're good. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're okay. But this mid lane's getting pressured. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Timon? I think Karma is the main character of the Gassy Chuds right now.
Well, I just watched probably one of the most fascinating 2 minutes of League of Legends of my life. I don't even know, man. Lost
I'm not asking you.
power.
I'm not asking for high level analysis right now, Tivon. I'm just looking
Lost
for
top
like
power, lost Herald, had a winning fight, but then we threw it because we wanted to kill Karma, but now somehow Urgot's getting top tower because Olaf was staying mid for some reason, and Karma, I think, has 5 points in Q instead of 3 into E. All I can say is, like, sure, man.
go off.
Caitlyn's somehow back in this game. It's kind of, but now that, like, he's stuck mid, I don't think he's ever going to get plates again, which is just depressing for Caitlyn. Mbessa back on the Mbessa thing of just getting really strong, especially when Zhao's playing it. But the Smolder is going to eat everyone alive continuously. Soul Point now as well for Gassy Chuds, so the game is kind of decided in about 3 minutes.
Oh, but we're going to get a little bit of a fight here topside here. The Gwent has arrived here. Those needles are shredding this dragon. He will get ground up here. Fear Beyond Death, pulling them in. All Gucci has actually maintained a pretty consistent thing right now. I was checking my old stat pieces from the last match. 20 to 23 minutes is about when the 225 stacks should be hit, and we're getting pretty close there. It looks like it's a 166. So, few more waves. And this Smolder will be online. They're going to have every dragon they could ever want, actually, in their pockets there. The Gassy Chuds ready to immolate Lash-Back Foundation here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah. Who kills Smolder? Who kills Smolder? This guy's gonna kind of just take over the game. It really feels like, unless they can find an Mbessa ult, or Urgot gets onto him, which kind of gets difficult. I think the Smolder is really just gonna kind of get to the point of taking over the game. Second item now achieved for both top laners. I mean, Urgot seems to be winning, even though I feel like Olaf should be. Olaf, I think once Urgot gets like a Bramble Vest or an Executioner's, he can really eat through Urgot. Through Olaf. But it seems like they don't really want to match each other. So maybe they just don't care to 1v1?
I'm not sure if the lane assignment is all that intentional right now in terms of what the team idea and focus is.
That's probably true.
But, well, I don't think the Urgot cares who they're into right now.
Yeah.
I believe the Entomb would cancel the Fear Beyond Death if they got so close, and would definitely heal them back up outside of that kill range to outlast the Fear Beyond Death. But that would still prime Frishy just to get that counterplay, to get the back in, you know, knees of guns of shot ready to just blow them up. So At this point, the question I have is how much they're going to leverage the advantage this Urgot has in this game where no one feels like they can match them. They might be doing that now. Putting pressure on this Baron. Caitlyn's slow to move. Karma is aware of this. About to have some Montagues over the wall. Oh, that's Ghost activated here right now. Olaf wants to actually get themselves a kill, and that's a lot right now. Public Execution's not going to do anything. That's a CC-less exchange. Prophet gets one. I feel a little bit better about that. And now, Lash-Back going to be on the back foot. 47 seconds till this dragon comes up. That's going to be soul for Gassy Chuds if Lash-Back cannot find out what the counterplay is going to be. Kaiser's still in the jungle on this Gwen, just farming up a storm, somehow still behind the Shyvana. I really feel like, and I was told, I have it on my notes right here, Kaiser is one of the standouts and one of the shot callers on the side of Lash-Back Foundation. But we're not really seeing much out of them in this game so far. 2-3-1 on the Gwen, down about 6 CS on compared to the Shyvana, but just no plays, no great skirmishing situations. And the poke that's coming from this Karma, who is super fed, and this Smolder that's only 10 stacks away from being activated. That's a little bit of a death brush situation right now. Going to be brought in. Entomb's going to go on to the Invested. They're going to get blown up. Gucci with the kill. That corpse is going to chase down the Gwen. Not much to be said there. That's not the jungler down. Smite is still available. The Gwen's got to get themselves into the right position. But this Karma, Yemeni really stepping up in this game and just being the biggest pain in the ass I've ever seen. And they're just going to play shield. Mafia there holding space, and Ocean Drake, Ocean Soul acquired.
I love to try to be an optimist as a caster to, try and, allow the other team to have an avenue back into this game, but I just really don't think it's possible at this state. With Ocean Soul now achieved, you have, in my opinion, a better comp. You have this infinite stacking Smolder with the Karma right next to it. I mean, it's just bleak for the side of Lash-Back. There's always hope. The enemy team can always start to throw, but I don't think this Ambessa really has a target to kill. I don't think she can one-shot through an Ocean Soul as well. So this is going to be a really difficult play for Blue Side to be able to get back into, and it might just take them flipping something like a Baron or flipping an Elder later to try to get back in and make it playable.
Yeah, and they've got to have wards out to be able to see what's happening on the map to identify these plays. I'm going to make this call out right now, is that I really don't like the fact that in this game, there's not been a lot of synergy between Zhao and Kaiser compared to what we saw with Jargon on the Briar in Game 1. There's been a bunch of nothing. Not the level of skirmishing that we were seeing before, not the level of what felt like coordinated plays. The Briar just being able to jump into any fight kind of when they wanted was really an enabler, and there's just not that option here. Once again, we go back to how do you start a fight with your team comp, and with Lash-Back being on the back foot, there's not really a lot of options here. And really, now that Smolder's hit a certain peak and the Ocean Drake is in hand, the poke is going to ruin any chances that Lash-Back have of now even trying to approach this Baron. And this Caitlyn can't even kill the Karma that's been caught onto a trap. Baron down to 1k. He's going to get secured here. Entomb is going to go through. Root's going to come out here. Mafia's might sacrifice themselves for this. Kaiser just running away into the jungle for not a lot. And a little bit of a messy finish here, but not much to be said.
What can Lash-Back do? They can just get run down at this point. Good flash flip, but
Oh, it's going to be a kill here. Actually, it's going to be secured here. This is going to be a big counter fight here. Frishy pulling the trigger. The Olaf has arrived, though. He's going straight onto the Urgot, but I don't think that's exactly what you want to do. This Urgot's been handling you all game. I know you're upset about it, Prophet, but there were other people to kill, and now there's one Baron. It's on Lacuna. This Baron is basically a toss right now. They're at a -2.6. It's going to be a -3k Baron anti-power play. And Lash-Back's going to get this tier 2. And now they've got the gold lead.
And then Sandra could die as well. The trap's down. What am I? Oh.
I believe we've got a series of dominoes ruining Gassy Chuds' chance at this game. That's a teleport from the Smolder Deep. They're really looking for a fight here, but Vinas has been able to play that. Smolder's here. He's going to run in. He's just going to blow up everyone here. Okay. You usually make the reference. I'm going to agree with it right now. The Thanos snap is coming from All Gucci here. He has his burn. He has a triple kill. He just decided to just 1v3 right there, and there, nope, no counterplay, no chance. I think the fighting's done, T-Von. You got anything you wanna give the kids at home?
Elder Dragon 30 minutes. The Smolder is 3 items. That guy can't die ever. I have no idea how they had enough damage to kill him in the first place. But what? Oh.
Oh boy, that's Wish being used here, but he will survive. Guys are missing a few threads there, but will save their support. Hopper is gonna be able to survive a little bit longer, but now we're getting to the hyper-scaling element of what this Smolder is going to become here. Public Execution is going to grab Yemeni. Yemeni is popped, and now on to the next one. Gucci trying to get over the wall here. Oh no, and I think the burn's going to kill him. Oh, Zhao lives, but that was very close. The heals from the Soraka coming in clutch. The Soraka needs a Warmogs. The Soraka needs a Warmogs, man.
Oh, they're still fighting.
Ooh, Death Beyond will make contact. I think the Tomb's going to mess it up. The flip's going to recur. Kill secured. Going over to the Gwen. Getting some gold into this jungler. Waiting for these scissors to do some damage, honestly.
Yeah, oh my god, that Gwen just recalled for 4 Abaddons. Okay, I was going to bring up the fact that Gwen is kind of one of the only champions that can deal with Smolder if she's able to get into range of him, which I would say normally shouldn't happen. But with the way that these players and teams have been playing, it seems very viable and possible. So the fact that now she has Abaddons, she can just
there you go.
Shred through all of these HP bars. This Gwen is terrifying. All Soraka heals onto this Gwen. Let her just get so much damage out. And I think it's going to be playable. It's all through the Gwen for this Elder Flip.
Well, Killing needs to not get caught out. Having a little bit of a standoff here in the mid lane. The Dragon is still probably a minute away from spawning. So a little bit of NA ram. The Lyssandra's on their way back. That should be the go button, really. For the Chuds. Way being cleared. Olaf stepping forward here. Shyvana. Rage bar ready to go full dragon mode.
I mean, it's really up to just Gwen to find an angle, but you need to have her.
No, Lyssandra's going to find the angle here. This Lyssandra's been able to sneak in behind. It's going to be able to jump in onto the Caitlyn. There's no follow-up damage here. The Urgot's gone forward. No one to flip here. Help Mom's going to come in. Not do a lot. And now that's a big entrance here. The Dragon is unleashed here. This Shyvana got into everyone. And Smolder with the cleanup. There was no fight. There was just a reckoning. This Gwen is now going to try to clear out these waves and prevent any ability for the Chuds to go end the game. But I believe if they can get just one wave, they've got a chance.
They have a bot lane wave that Lysandra and Smolder are playing off of. They're going to be able to get inhibitor, but I don't think that they can actually win the game. I think just let Elder Dragon be killed. I think get this tower, and then the other tower, don't go for the inhibitor. You don't have a lot of support next to you. Just get the tower and get out, and then play a next play with Elder. But, I mean, this should be Gassy Chuds winning in the next 2 minutes.
Should be indeed here. Eternal Dragon secured. This Smolder is now at 315 stacks, and the kit scales with these stacks. This damage is going to get unbearable. And the Soraka still doesn't even have at least anything that's going to be able to sustain them for how much healing they're going to have to put out if there's any poke exchange coming from the Karma, coming from the Smolder, even the axes from the Olaf. So they're prime. Chud's prime for the win. Trying to get this last little bit of gold, but I think we might be having a fight here at Baron for the game here, T-Von.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a world where Gwen is able to run in and somehow steal the Baron, and
No,
then
they're already
somehow
on
they
it.
kill everything. But Urgot doesn't have TP available for its bot side. I think they're just giving and try to stall out the Baron, or excuse me, the Elder, which has another minute and a half. So you have to survive 3 to 4 waves. I think you can survive. They're playing mid top, so if you give top inhibitor and mid inhibitor and defend Nexus towers, I think that's your only avenue in, and I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
this
they're
Urgot
playing.
needs to get back here. Urgot's still sitting around the top tower. Are they planning on giving an inhibitor turret for this tier 2 bot lane? Gwen's backing now. It feels like a very poor reaction on the side of Lash-Back. They're going to get an inhibitor for free, no fight.
There's not really much Urgot can do if he was here. He'd just be taking damage from Smolder, so I don't mind the trade. But yeah, the thing is you have to recall now to be able to fight for Nexus Towers. They took it a lot faster than I think Lashback anticipated. 40 seconds, you have to survive 2 more waves, and I don't think it's enough time.
No, Nexus Tower's taking damage here. They're going to go down here, and that's going to be a brought in root. And oh boy, Mafia has died. The fight is going through. The Investor is getting onto this dragon, but not able to kill him. The Smolder has been killed. The Guardian Angel will proc, but the Nexus has been destroyed in the middle of everything here. Lacuna with their eye on the prize. Gassy Chuds will strike back. They will take game 2. Big nail biter there in the last minute there, but Lashback not bringing their defenses in hand before the rest of their base fail, and Gassy Chuds really pulling it out. This Smolder feels like a win condition for both these teams at this point, T-Von.
Yeah, I think Smolder is just one of those champions that just have an insane late game insurance, and I don't think either of these teams really know how to punish a Smolder, especially in comp. So he's kind of able to just like free farm and become this really insanely broken champion that will just win you the game. So I think it makes sense. It's kind of similar to the Garen being high prio. It's like, yeah, I guarantee you're not going to win the game in 25 minutes. And these brawls are super clean, and super just cut and dry. So Smolder's able to get a lot of freedom from that and from a lot of mistakes. And so Gassy Chuds and Smolder are just able to kind of do whatever they want without any punishment.
Not a lot of engagement, not a lot of opportunities to really figure out what you wanted. The Urgot looked like it was a win condition, but they just never really indexed super hard into what was being done there. And now we kind of sit in a place where kind of wondering what the answers are going to be. We're going to see what I don't think they have the next round of roster in for game 3. So still going to have some questions there. But I'm very curious to see if either team's going to ban the Smolder, or if it's going to be like a super prio pick for whoever's on blue side and just be first pick, because that will then put the other team on notice. Can you actually put together a comp that can deal with the Smolder? Because both games, regardless of how good or bad Tony or Gucci have been on getting to that game-breaking stat point of 225, it has occurred, and the game has pretty much been decided on the back of that. So we're going to go ahead, take ourselves a little break. We will be back for game 3 in just a minute. We'll see you soon. Game 3, final match of the night here, and a winner will take, well, either team will take the points that they have earned on the evening. I have not heard anything on production side of if there's going to be any special points gained for not getting the first round of bans. It's a little trick that they've got in this league to get you some extra points to put you in a better position going into playoffs and how the true rankings work. But the nerdy stuff aside, we have Sad White Man back into the top lane. Mafia returning into the jungle. All Gucci rotating from bot to mid. Warlord Ragan, we're going to work on that name the rest of the night, will be in for bot lane with Yemeni. But the big point... I appreciate that, production, for letting me know that I could pronounce Warlord Ragan correctly, but slowly. We're going to have some faster-paced games later here. Lash-Back Foundation, though, with the better point value. But Alune, the other standout and shot caller for the team, is in, along with Kaiser still in the jungle. Zhao in the mid lane. Tony Benass in the bot lane, with J-Web in for the support instead of Hopper. So, slight adjustments. Point value, T-Von, has dictated who has won. All right. Point value has dictated who has won the last 2 matches, as well as a smolder. So that's at least how things are shaping up right now, T-Von.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is who is making who gets the lead first, and then who is proactive. It seems like neither of these teams are really capable of falling behind and finding pathways back into the game. Both game 1 and game 2, we saw someone take the lead, and it was close in kills and gold from what you saw. But it was only close because people just kept extending plays and giving free kills and free trades. But whoever was making the first step was always winning and always in the driver's seat for the rest of the game. And Gassy Chuds, as we are saying, picking this really highly contested smolder, surprisingly red side not banning it. So I'm curious what they're looking to trade for it instead. What is their answer to smolder? Because so far we have yet to see one secured.
And I don't think Aurora is going to be the answer for the smolder precisely. I do want to highlight very quickly that the Karma was banned by the side of Lash-Back. It would appear that Yemeni's Karma was a bigger problem to them than the smolder, and I can understand that perspective for how much Yemeni was all over the map. And due to that massive feed session that occurred on that ill-fated dive that Lash-Back did, set up Yemeni to be able to be across the map and be able to put out max rank mantra Qs to their faces and really put them on the back foot.
I really like this Ezreal lock-in. I think Ezreal is also a really strong champion right now with the new patch. He's got a lot of increased and additional AP ratios. There's a lot of good AP items that you can go with him right now, as well as, obviously just doing the traditional AD build that Ezreal can do. He can kind of compete with the scaling that Smolder does. Obviously, not to the same extent if we're looking at 6 items, but he also likes time, looking at the 3 item, 4 item, but he needs a little bit more time to output that damage, and you have to be a really good Ezreal. You're a little bit more safe. And like you said, I like the Karma ban because it allows the support pool to not be as dominant. You can't get as hard of a winning matchup with support without Karma. And so now you'll probably see something like potentially maybe a Nami being whipped out. Something that I think Lash-Back Foundation could actually pull out that we've been seeing in LCK team and LPL teams do, which I hate to inform the people, is Yuumi. I actually think Yuumi could be really good, especially if you're facing a Smolder, to be able to counter that sort of scaling, especially when you're facing 2 tanks like that. You kind of have a freebie chill time when you're facing a Zac that can't really pressure you all that much early on.
Yeah, and I'm just giving a look here for what the support might be with J Webb. Some recent play of Leona looks like a decent amount of Karma, Nautilus, Braum, Sona in that order. Then like Lulu, Leona, Nico. So there are options available, but they're not going to secure it. Looks like the Zaheen is going to be locked in for the top lane. So the solo lanes have been acquired for Lash-Back Foundation. The Ornn being secured. Can't say I've seen Ornn in a support role for quite a while. This is not a situation where you'd want the Ornn, like, it's not a Senna Ornn lane, you know what I'm saying? So this is, we're being set up for at least another round of bans to be far more targeted against the support pool or against mid lane pool for Lash-Back Foundation, taking away the Annie from All Gucci, so, and then the Camille for Gassy Chuds.
Yeah, I really like Ornn. I like Ornn. It's an engage tool, it's a tank, it's a pretty reliable top laner that can go even in a lot of lanes, especially if you ban Gwen. And they banned Camille, which is also a pretty good lane. To play into Ornn. He's just stable. It's just a go button, which I think every team that we watch really lacks is a champ that just says we're going. Um, so I really like this Ornn lock, and especially with Zach paired with it, who can also kind of just be that go button in tandem with the Ornn Horn. And it kind of puts a lot of pressure on the backline of Ezreal and Aurora, as well as Ezreal and Aurora, are not really tank busters. So far, two really thick HP bars for these kind of this burst mage and this Ezreal to deal with. I like the Olaf lock-in, though. That's something that can kind of run through these tanks and deal a lot of damage and can also survive Smolder for a decently long time. So I think that's a pretty good answer. And once again, man, I know it sounds so dumb and I hate rooting for it, but I think Yuumi on 5 here on R5 would be absolutely broken.
It'd be something to really bolster Tony on Ben S, or even bolster the Olaf and really allow him to run down and blow up the Smolder, because with that Rise locked in, the consistent damage is entirely on the Smolder. I know we all know that Rise can be kind of a machine gun mage, but with the amount of things that can be running at them between the Zaheen, the bursting in between worlds dashing that Aurora can do, the Rise is not going to be able to actually like run through all of the damage and even deal with all the damage that's going to be thrown at them. So it still feels like the major win condition on the side of Gassy Jets is this Smolder. They're themselves going to lock in the Soraka, which I'm not a big fan of for just what I expect Lash-Back Foundation to want to do, to play aggressively, to, oh, my words here, Sona instead. I would
Oh
still
my god,
prefer a
please pick
Seraphine
Yuumi.
if you're going to go that.
Oh my god, please pick Yuumi, bro. It is actually the best Yuumi draft I've ever seen. Who kills Ezreal on their team? Oh.
And it's gonna be the Nautilus for J Webb. You're not getting your wish right now, T-Von, but there at least will be a distinct engage ability available to Lash-Back Foundation to pick their fights. I will give that as a bit of appreciation for at least setting themselves up with more than just a walk at them strategy, or even a between worlds to sort of slow or, try to treat that as an engage option. But we have our teams locked in. I would make pretty straightforward assertions about where these champions are going to go, but we're going to at least hold out those full confirmations. But
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I would usually commend Nautilus being picked up. I think Nautilus is a champ that is really strong and probably the best support on the patch, especially in comp. But I think this is one of the few games where he's going to really struggle. They have two really easy champions, two tank hooks. You can cancel Zac jump with Nautilus hook, which is nice to use. But if you're ulting Smolder, there's not really a lot of follow-up. Maybe it's an Aurora combo if she can kind of get past a lot of what they have, but Gassy Chuds have a lot of really thick people to be able to bolster up Smolder. The Sona Shields, Rise is going to be right next to him, outputting a lot of CC and helping Warlord Dragon, and as well as Smolder just kind of being tanky himself. So I think this is one of the few times where Nautilus might struggle a little bit. But we'll have to see. Like you said, it does allow playmaking. It does allow a lot of pressure bot lane early before the scaling happens and kill threat onto Sona. Which has been a very big thing to watch in the bot lane, is how much of a battlefield it is down there. So I think there are avenues for Lash-Back Foundation to win this game. But if I were to rather play one draft, it would be blue side for sure.
right here. Yep, noting that at this time, production, thank you for pointing that out and having that on the screen for us. My website page did not actually capture this like I needed it. But as you can see, everyone, Tony Benass is actually taking the Olaf top lane. Alune is actually coming in for bot lane for the Ezreal. So minor adjustment there. Everything else you see on the screen should be locked, loaded, and accurate going into this. I hope Warlord Ragan is ready for what's going to happen in this bot lane, because it's not the exact same bot lane he's matching up with, but Yemeni can tell the story of how it's been nothing but blood, guts, and violence for this series on particularly the bot side of the map. We're going to go ahead and let everything else get loaded up for this game. We will see you at the end of the break. Game 3 is afoot, and there's plenty of engage and a lot of things to throw at to start a fight on the side of Lash-Back Foundation. But the Chuds, they don't have the dragon. They've got a timer to win this game. They've rotated Ben Ass from the AD carry, and they brought in a Lune, their top-rated player, to try to salvage this series. And we're going to see if they can do anything. We're going to see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean the thing is you're gonna need this Ezreal to really start gliding. I mean I say that, but also I think Olaf and Zehen have a very, very important job ahead of them. They have to get to a point where they can kind of shred through this Ornn and Zac and make sure that they die first, which is gonna be difficult because I think the Rise, Smolder, Sona will be able to output a lot more damage. It's gonna be actually these team fights are gonna be really exciting. There's gonna be a lot of CC, a lot of engage. It's gonna be a lot of skill expression from the carries actually of who can dodge the most and who can weave in the most uptime while dodging these bruisers of red side and the tanks of blue side. I'm actually really excited to see how these team fights go. It's gonna get bloody. I mean, we've already seen 2 very bloody games, but this one is gonna be there's some pretty active supports and junglers. I guess support of Nautilus, but the junglers are also pretty active champs, and so is top lane is gonna be pretty bloody. So I'm excited to see how this game turns out.
Yeah, I'd really like to see that there's more. Oh, that's interesting. So Yemeni's in the jungle and Warlord Dragon is the Sona. All Gucci's still the AD carry. Muff. Okay, I'm gonna be so calibrating to make sure I actually know where people are in this match. But it is encouraging that between the Zehen and the Zac that there might be more activity and more ganks, especially probably earlier on in the game than there was in the last game. All that was really done last time was that Kaiser just farmed on the Gwen and did get to a point that pretty much allowed for the Smolder to get killed, but that was as the Nexus was exploding. So not the most ideal situation. That's a good chunk onto Tony there.
Just a good chunk towards the bot side, but I mean, we're gonna take a lot longer to be able to get lethal, unless there's a really big trade with Ezreal with that lethal tempo can actually output a lot of damage. Smolder this go around is going to the fleet footwork instead of that Deathfire Torch. So just allowing more sustain. I think they understand that they don't really have that much kill threat against Ezreal Nautilus, so try to stay alive as much as possible and just breathe. Let the game progress because you're playing Smolder, Rise, Ornn. You have probably 3 of the best scalers in every role. So just chill. Just try to survive. Keep your head down. Maybe secure one dragon to be able to make your scaling a little bit easier. And if you can get 1 dragon, then you're good to go.
We did see that blue side last time. I believe that was I think it was. Okay, my brain needs to clear up here a little bit, but Gassy Chuds did a very good job of actually maintaining control of the river and just even getting all the way to Soul by like 25 minutes. Even, I believe that game ended super quickly. We got to the Eternal Dragon by like 25 minutes. So going to see if Kaiser can maintain that kind of control over the map, over the game, and direct his team and really keep the advantages rolling in their favor. This Soda is going super low. He's going to flash away. So a good bit of dominance asserted. Still face taking a bit there, but only it will maintain advantage, and that'll be looking pretty good here. Big exchange in the mid lane of spells. Zhao on the lesser end of that, a little bit lower, but they've got pots to keep themselves healthy. So still sitting with not a lot happening. I'd like to have seen maybe a gank out of like level 3 or 4 from this Zac. That slingshot is a thing of legends for it's. I remember a friend pointing out to me a long time ago that it's basically the same range as a Nocturne ult, but on like a 10-second cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be level 9 for that kind of range. It's pretty short range early on. You kind of have to be behind them. It's an awkward range, level 1, so kind of one of those champions that needs levels. Oh,
Between Worlds is going to be used, but that root's going to prevent any other plays from Zhao. They're going to have to run away into the jungle. I think they're going to get chased down. That Sona and that Rise. Auto attack doesn't secure it.
Oh,
But the speed up.
Oh my god.
Wow. Going to make it out. Did not want to deal with the Olaf. And not a lot of mana left on Mafia for a fight like that. So, gonna just take the lane prio and call it a win.
I mean, you know, as much as Aurora should be winning this matchup a lot harder, you know, you not dying is a W. But you are still getting behind the Rise that, you know, obviously wants to be able to chill and scale up. Rise is also going to be able to have a lot more effect on maps than Aurora is, just with the ult if they're able to combo the global well. But
That Ragnarok was used here. I think you're about to get anviled, hard placed, smashed up. J-Web regretting that anchor toss. I think if nothing else happens here in the bot wave. Oh, I think Tony's about to get dove here. Zach's in the tri-brush there on the top side of the map. Low on mana, low on resources. Ragnarok not available to him. Use that. Knockup's going to come through. Second knockup. Splish, splash, taking a bath. Yemeni secures first blood with the Goo Boy. And that's going to be a full wave crash in here. Teleport is not available. Tony's going to lose a lot of CS here as he makes his way back. It looks like Kaiser's going to pick up what's left. But that's a good play. That's a good early play here from Lash-Back Foundation.
So far, something that I'm a little afraid of is the fact that Gassy Chuds have not really been putting any pressure on this bot lane. Sehen, the way that he's pathing, I mean, he is pathing bot side, but isn't doing anything with that pathing. They haven't attempted a dive. They haven't had their bot lane bounce the wave back to the red side of the map to be able to pressure them on a bounce, anything like that. So the Smolder and Sona have been able to get through the first 6 levels fairly clean. From what I've seen, the Nautilus and Ezreal aren't really working in the same pockets to be able to get hooks going, whereas the Nautilus, you know, once it hasn't really been able to get anything like substantial happening bot side. So really just all quiet on that western front. Sure, you're getting poked down, and yeah, you get the push in, but Smolder doesn't really care about Prio, and nor does Zach, as he's still winning topside for this Orin. So far so good.
Looks going to land, but that's 2 turret shots being put onto the Nautilus here. A little bit too far, and that's going to be a kill secured by the Smolder, and most of the damage has gone to the Sona. They will not chase the Ezreal into the river. That's a good idea. The Zehen is right there, shadowing his bot lane, and it should amount to nothing as long as Warlord Ragan doesn't very sillily go up to check out the tri-brush.
Yeah, that is really bad for Gassy Chuds. They need to be pressuring this a little bit more. I mean, yeah, Zehen might be able to get a kill here with a Loon, but
It's going to get proc 1 here, so looking for the knockup. Gonna be able to get the secured kill on to the Sona. Oh, and that's gonna be the ult dropped in. One more auto is gonna get the kill. It has it. It's gonna be able to get the dash out. Gets out with 1 health. Doesn't even get the passive prog. Great use of that cultivation of war to at least threaten the reset. Gets the Dark Blade knockup onto the Sona just to secure that kill. Really good use. Really good use of all the kit pieces there, and a good setup.
yeah, good to just get that punishment going down, but I think this bot lane is still going to struggle. It is something that needs to be had, and I think now that they've burned the flash of Smolder, what Zehen should be doing is, instead of staying on map like he should have reset, immediately gone from a top to bot clear, and set up a dive immediately back bot lane. Tell their Nautilus and Ezreal to just try to find a chunk in the next minute and a half. And just get the full clear down and instantly dive bot lane. Punish the Smolder flash immediately before he can get barrier back up either. And from there, just keep the train going. But instead, there's a train going on top side.
Yep, knockup's going to land here. The Zac is trying for a lane gank, but the did not sync up with what they wanted there. The wave getting clear out allows it to push over onto Olaf's side of the map, and he's going to feel pretty safe about this.
Achieving Trinity Force is a pretty big back for them. First spike of the game that he wants to try and get things rolling, especially with Dragon up in 40 seconds. This is kind of their opportunity to really get the game going. Ghost procking and Zac top though.
Oh, we thought the Zac was not there, but the Zac is there. But Tony will to get the kill. Sad White Man is going to go down, and the heals are going through here. This Vamp Scepter Doran's Blade with the W from the Olaf will get him 2 kills, so Tony surprising everyone. Looks like there is a rotation up. Teleport in from Mafia. It's going to secure it with the auto. I was concerned too. Mom's going to fly in. Flashing over the wall. The heals are going to keep Illuminate up just a little bit longer. All Gucci's been brought low. He's trying to chase down J-Web, but boots are going to keep him safe. Alrighty, so big action topside. Does get cleared up by Mafia. Gets himself on the board with his first kill. And now we have an old bot side between worlds. Turret shot's going to actually bring... Oh my gosh, Zhao got so low here right now. And now, oh, the dive actually fails. The Smolder was killed, but Zac able to get the counter kill onto Zehen. That's a nice little juggle advantage, and that means that he's going to jump on over. Second Dragon's going to be taken by Lash-Back Foundation. So they're going to maintain, or at least do better than they did in the last game, and get themselves a dragon.
And that's exactly what you'd need with this scaling comp. And already accelerating in gold, yeah, you might not have the greatest gold lead, but any sort of lead is phenomenal for the way that your champions operate. I'm going to keep saying it over and over, but this Rise already having Roa at 12 minutes with a stacking tier, Orin already at level 9, having really never been punished. He's probably going to proc 10 here with this wave. Smolder already add an item advantage over an Ezreal. This Ezreal is going to really struggle to cut through Orin and Zac, especially because Orin and Zac don't really need to build all that much MR because of, Aurora is the only AP threat. Unless Ezreal specs into some AP, but that's only until like 3rd, 4th item. And the game's probably going to be decided by that point, so Ezreal's going to have to have a long time to really have his DPS matter. Versus, Smolder, Rise, Orin is just going to be these juggernauts just chunking through everyone. Not even to mention this Sona, who is also just chilling for free and able to get the levels that she so desperately needs.
Yeah, and this Sona being in the pocket of all Gucci is going to allow for plenty of peel that I don't even imagine the Sona ultimate is going to be used for an engage. It's just going to be heal, movement, and amping of damage, and then just making them dance if they want to try to attack this Smolder. So there's kind of a big bouncer set of champions around the Smolder to keep them safe and set up for fights that would be in their favor. A bit of fight in the chicken coop here right now. Gonna get the knockup. I believe that was secured by Zac, but still going through, trying to actually get some kill threat. Now we're going to be fighting in the jungle. Between worlds will be proc. Knockup's going to come through. Sona's going to be taken out by Illuminate. Another pull back. Rise, not long for this world. The double kill is going to go on over to the Ezreal. Nautilus is going to get a hook, and this is going to be a full fight. Ult's going to go down, and now Grim Deliverance brought in, trying to get another knockup, trying to get another round of auto attacks, but he will not need them. Kaiser will get out. Lune pressing his luck into this jungle. I think they're going to try to steal this red buff. Going to force Yemeni to run away. Just a little snot bubble in. Not enough to steal the red buff. And now it's time to exit. I believe Lune can get out of here. Should be good to go. Should be good to go.
A really great fight for Gassy Chuds to be able to claw themselves back into this game. That's kind of what they need to be doing, is start these fights now before the Lash gets too far ahead, especially when you have champions like Aurora and like Zehen. These champs that want to brawl early, want to use their gold early. But a greedy path from J-Web might just slow it back down.
Yeah, this is not looking good for him. Does not have a flash available. It's going to be able to hook to get a little bit further away, but this Zac may just 1v1 this Nautilus coming down. Orin is here. teleport used for this kill feels a little strange here. Rift Herald's going to spawn, but no real movement. I feel like Sad Whiteman has good. He can do nothing against Tony on this Olaf and has decided to just roam across the map as often as he can to try to help with other fights. This has given Tony plenty of space to really get the wave pushing, and the lifesteal on this Olaf, we saw it in other games last week. It's not to be trifled with.
Yeah, and having the Omnivamp boots as well is just, I mean, to be so honest, an absurdly broken item that was dropped with this new patch. Olaf is going to be able to take advantage of that so well as the Ravenous Hydra. I mean, Olaf is kind of already known for his lifesteal at low HP and just brawling people out. So Ornn giving up a lot of space and a lot of gold. I mean, look at the gold graph right now. Somehow Ezreal has clawed his way to a 1k gold lead, and Olaf has 1.2. And Olaf, I know that gold lead is going to be continuously scaling throughout this match. I mean, just absolutely strong. And you can see that, like, Ornn is kind of at a point where he can't do all that much. He can try to clear, and he can try to, you know, push it back, but eventually Ornn is going to be pulled to a team fight or some sort of roam that his team wants to go for, and then this top tier 2 will just immediately evaporate. So it's just dependent on choosing the right fights to move to, and choosing the right timers for Olaf to be punished.
Little dragon stack check, 155 on the Smolder. So all Gucci. Unsurprisingly, it's been a calmer game, I would say. He's only died twice, but still sitting pretty close to where they should be. 157, we're only about 16, 17 minutes in. Zach's going to try to get in, capture, get some sticky goo on to Zhao on this Aurora, but will not make much of it. He's trying to get into their chicken coop and make a dive while Zhao is backing. Yep, there he goes. Between worlds. They'll be able to actually get themselves out. Takes 2 turret shots for his troubles. That's going to shove the wave in. Nice. Olaf's here is going to land the first one. There's not much to stop the teleport out. Realm Warp works, and Mafia gets himself out and safe it away.
Rashford is still up, and Zahen wasn't a part of that topside fight. His eyes are actually on bot lane. If Nautilus can roam in time for this Ezreal to push in lane, maybe use a True Shot Barrage to crash it, this could be a 3v2 dive, and I think it's kind of free pickings.
Free pickings, wave has been cleared up. Teleport's coming in. That would be a good trade of summoners. That's the Rise. Aurora's going to be allowed to push in the mid wave. Zach's going to be forced to receive it. Are they going to be able to leverage this into anything?
Just a really good play from Gassy Chuds to be able to get a TP out, but oh my god, that Zach damage.
But using the Between Worlds, using the far side wall to teleport themselves away from the dangerous Man of Goo. Yemeni getting a good threat out, gets that ultimate out. It might be a pretty good advantage to acquire. The Herald is the only major map objective that is up right now. We got quite a while till the next dragon comes out. We're gonna have a Kim Soul. And
man, we really had the 2 worst dragon souls today, Chemtech and Ocean. That kind of sucks, you know.
That's exciting. I always like Infinite Sustain with the Ocean Soul.
It's just not even that good anymore. They've nerfed it. It's not even like that infinite sustain like it used to be. I miss those days. Well, that's
a big strange. He misses the True Shot Barrage here, and now the bottle up and combo. He's going to try to get the counter kill.
Wow.
Trying to get something, but Illuminate just does not reach it. And now Olaf is here. I think he's going to be able to do work. The axe connects here. That thing dead. He's flashing in. The second axe does not hit onto the Sona. Sona surviving all of this, but the Riot has arrived. He's going to try to get the final kill onto this Olaf. Running him down. Horn. They're going to be able to get the stun up. This Zahen going to try to get enough stacks to be able to get sustained, get revived. But the chain CCing from this Zach has provided a myriad of layups for Lash-Back Foundation. They're able to rotate in. Realm Warp not even used by Mafia to get into this fight. They just read the map and came and collapsed.
I mean, really well played from Lash, the way that they responded. They're using their comp a little bit better, and just a weird mismanagement from Gassy Chuds. Alun trying really hard to make sure that the Sona dies, and didn't use all spells, and now Nautilus is once again dead. Why are we getting that Raptors ward with no one on the map?
A little too deep, a little too far, not enough help in the area to at least try to make that safe. I don't think anyone's going to be intimidated by. Yeah, it's interesting. I think about how Mickey X would do that on G2 and just kind of feign that there was more help than just a Nautilus in enemy jungle. But how do I say this to J-Web without being mean to Lash-Back Foundation? No one's smart enough to be scared of Nautilus in their jungle. And Blastgun's going to be used. They're going to try to get the jump onto Tony, but he's going to just put on the Ragnarok and run away and kind of scare him away.
Yeah, I mean, like, also when you see, like, the other two carries on map that are not even in the proximity of Nautilus, like, you can kind of just kill them. And if other people show up, then you can kind of walk away. But like, J-Web, it wasn't a matter of, oh, I'm going to get this ward and pretend like there's a bunch of people behind me, because there's other ways to play it that way. I think it's just greed of, I think I can get this ward even though no one's on map, and it's a mistake that a lot of supports do, but Zach jumping in, I don't know if you want to do that, though.
J-Web's about to die again. He's only got the Glacial Augment. He's not as tanky as he could be. The knockup's going to come through. The Ornhorn, Cyberman's going to jump in and snipe. Now, Zahen flying in. This is a great combo of damage here. Aurora going off here. Zhao, the great one, laying down a series of pain. Rai's going to try to do the best he can, but he puts all of his damage into Zahen. He's just going to get resurrected with his passive. Quadra kill by Zhao. Impressive sequence in the middle of a very chaotic fight there in between the bush in the mid lane. This is going to pop. They're going to get it. Dragon's going to come, spawn up. This is going to be third Drake point. Soul point acquired here by Gassy Chuds. Unless Yimney can do a flyover smite. Looks like he's thinking about it. He's got a ward over. He's got an idea. 2,900. Last time he saw it, he's going to be able to fly over. He's going to get the steal, and he will jump out. Oh, that is some egg on your face. Kaiser is going to be kicking himself for not securing that. That would have given them a win condition, the permanent buff. But now we're going to be delayed another 5 minutes until the next opportunity arises. J-Web forced to flash out of the jungle. I still think he's going to die for it. And I think they're going to try to give this kill over to the Smolder. There we go. Gucci has hit his stacks, has hit 4 kills, 2.5 items. Danger zone. We are riding into the danger zone, and the Gassy Chuds need to get an answer. Otherwise, Gucci is going to set them all afire.
Looking back at that dragon fight, just to mark for how this Baron is going to look, is they're using a lot of spells on the front line of Zahen and Olaf to deal with them, which is allowing Zhao to have a lot of space to be able to assassinate, and a great timing to one-shot the Smolder and Sona. So for these coming fights, you have to watch very specific cooldowns. It's mostly Ornn ult, Ornn knockup, as well as obviously the Zac kit, but the Sona ult. For me, I'm going to be watching if they keep any of them to try to peel the Aurora or Ezreal to try to get an engage on them, or if they just kind of spam all of them on the melees to try to secure those kills and allow Aurora a lot of space. If Aurora gets hit by one piece of CC, I think she gets one shot by the damage that Ryze and Smolder can do, as well as the tanks. But if they just kind of spam all of those spells on Olaf Zahen, I think Aurora can continue to kill everyone.
I think J-Web needs to learn that they are not allowed to walk into this river. This could be another kill given over. 1, 8, and 5. Man advantage on the side of Lash-Back for the next 30 seconds on the map. This is going to allow them to clear out the wards in the Baron pit. Zhao's going to try to do some counter work and at least try to put the red buff side of the jungle in the dark, but everyone's moving on up. Teleport available for Sad Wyman. They're trying to get actually a pick. Might have overreached here, and now running in on another, forced to flash out, and Tony's going to follow him. The Realm Warp's going to take Rise to safety, but there is a non-stop Viking here with a pair of axes looking to take you down. He's got himself a new pair of boots, all of which not protected by the rest of his team, and it wouldn't even have mattered. Benes was able to run through it. This Baron is now on threat, and Luna is going to chase him to the ends of the earth here. Oh wait, that might be Zhao actually. My mistake. The two carries, they're playing full defense here right now. They're pressing forward. They want to get kills and the Baron. Big Worm secured. Luna just running a little lap around the blue buff, and I'll tell you to get on out of there, get back, get buying, and get on the map here. It's time to get these waves going.
Yeah, get that recall going. I don't know if you'll... I don't think this Ezreal should... He shouldn't have enough damage, or excuse me, gold, my god, to be able to get a full item. But he's going to overstay his welcome. He's really low mana. So he's kind of screwing the tempo of his whole team. Because if he's on the same... He should be on the same tempo as Zehen, Olaf, and Aurora right now. They're already on map. They're already pushing wave. They should be pushing mid lane right now as well. And they should be playing a 4-1. With this Baron, you want to secure all 3 tier 2 towers, and the way that you do that is immediately get on map. As soon as you get the Baron, don't overchase, just get on map and go. You don't have to overstay for an extra long sword that Ezreal just got. Time is more of the essence. So they've already kind of stalled their Baron for about a minute, 30 seconds extra that they should. But now that everyone's finally on map, 1-3-1 it, try to get all 3 tier 2s, and if they make a mistake, then you can maybe look for an inhib with a pick, but you're very happy with just tier 2s.
It's the map really wide open for them to make a lot of plays. The damage from Zhao on this Aurora is getting pretty impressive against even, you saw it there a minute ago, the Ornn brought very low by a couple of rotations of the spells and auto attacks. I'm doing a little bit of a damage check here for, I believe, across the whole game. This Aurora has been doing very well. Lune next in behind her, and then Gucci. So top 3 damages coming from the top 3 best sources. Mafia falling quite a bit behind, but maybe has not been a part of too many kills. Has gotten several kills, but might have just been there to collect.
Yeah, so far they are recalling again. I mean, this time Aurora is getting an item spike, so it makes sense. And Nalus does need to refresh the wards for this dragon. And with all these pushing waves, it's difficult for Lash to be able to do anything to get back onto map and pressure the river. And you're just going to run them down.
Trying to get this kill onto one or the other. It's going to go onto the Sona. The heals are really kind of coming through. He's going to get the smite down. That is an okay exchange. I would much rather have the Olaf alive and with Ghost coming up soon than the Sona to be able to secure... Well, no, wait, they already took the Drake, actually.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
they technically secured them, Drake, because they required 2 people. But Aurora might just die to Zap.
Yep, and ult out. I don't know if he has to be able to get himself out of here. He does not build up the auto attacks. Shutdown Gold's going to go over into all Gucci's pocket, so they get themselves onto Soul Point, but the Warhorn's arriving and the pain is going to land. The Ezreal gets the knockup, double knockup, running right into the tower here. That Nautilus is going to die. That's the 9th death for this Nautilus. Momentum acquired. Lash-Back Foundation do the clap back. Sona's back here just in time to see everyone go away. But that is a pretty good sequence. Yemeni going overstaying the welcome a little bit. There was a flank teleport used. Zhao's coming in to try to get something from this, but I don't know if he'll be able to catch anyone. Sona's going to use the crescendo. We're going to have an extended fight here, but the main damage dealers haven't really arrived. The Riot's going to machine gun down this Olaf, and now, oh boy, you're caught out here. It's going to get brought back. We're going to have a game-ending fight here, I think, T-Von. They are rolling in and rolling through, and there's a lot of misplays being done by the Chuds. Less bouncy. Yep. All right, there you go. Get squished and get bounced out.
Huh. So Gassy Chuds were in a very winning situation, and all of a sudden they've thrown away everything because Ben-Ass overstayed his welcome. Traded a 1-for-1, got Dragon, but then they just played a little too far up, disrespected the engage range from Zach, and it might just be the end. 15 seconds on Aurora, it's just ahead. It might be up to Olaf if they can find it.
Zen's going to get on in, get a large amount of heals with that ultimate here. They're not going to be able to get the kill, not even getting the proc. They're going to walk away off of that. Several full health members. The Ezreal's up in 15, and the Aurora's only getting up now. They probably could have gotten more, but I think they're going to, it looks like they're going to play it safe, back off. Baron is up in a minute.
That's probably the most amount of discipline I've ever seen in Final Boss Draft League. But it's true, like, ever since last season, overstaying for Nexus Towers is never worth it. So unless you know for a fact you're going to end, there's no reason to go past the inhibitors. It's better to just recall, get the tempo, and be on map for Baron, just due to the fact that Nexus Towers respawn now. So if you get them, it gives you a little bit of gold, but not all that much. But what is worth more is getting Baron and being able to do a game-ending play. But what could also be game-ending play is this death bush that Gassy and Chuds are setting up here.
Yes, to see J-Web actually stay in the bush with his friends. Oh, and this damage is going, it's a reminder of what happened earlier between Worlds. Will strike. Big barrier coming out, but oh my gosh, Mafia just destroyed, blew up Zhao, and now they're pushing for the win here right now. Aluna's going to get crescendo. I don't know if they have the full damage. Mom's going to come through. The Smolder has arrived, and that's going to be more than enough. I'm sorry, you're on the wrong side of the map here, Gassy Chuds. Lash-Back have found their opportunity. If you want to throw the match, they will catch it. And now Olaf doing the best that he can. He can't even get the Sona down. Zehen striking. Cannot get it with the Darkening Glaive. Cannot find any kills. No knockup. I'm sorry, Nautilus. One more death for you. The Smolder gets the triple. Nexus turrets are falling. And we're going to have ourselves a 2-1 series here to round out the evening, to round out week 3. Lash-Back Foundation getting their second win. Gassy Chuds fall short.
Wow. What a swing and turn of events for Lash-Back to be able to get back into that game, claw back in, and punish the mistakes of Gassy Chuds. But again, I mean, I kept saying it over and over, but the scaling of Lash-Back really allows them to be able to play that way. They were able to stall long enough, and they were able to get themselves enough resources to be able to get to a point where Ryze was just one-shotting everyone. As soon as Olaf popped his ult, Ryze could pop Actualizer, get the additional ability power, and just destroy that reduced magic resist Olaf. Aurora kind of couldn't get back into the game. She kept getting the engaged target from Zac and from Ornn, and Ezreal just doesn't have enough damage to deal with the thick HPs of Ornn Zac. So the scaling prevails once again at Final Boss Draft League, which, you know, I'm not surprised by. If I were to give any advice to any teams that is in the chat or anyone that's in the league, just draft scaling, and you will probably win every game. Just be better scalers, because that's just, it seems that it determines every single game that we watch.
It really does seem to go that way. The team that had, I believe in this situation, the higher point value did not actually dictate who won. And I believe there's actually still a mistake. No, it did. Lash-Back Foundation did win, but they also had the Dragon, and Baby Dragon equals win, at least in the series that we had tonight. I did get in a little special message in here for one of the players here. Let me open up this envelope here. Dear Zhao, let's go, my beautiful son. Mama and Baba are so proud of you. Don't forget to come take a bath after this game. I have your favorite rubber ducky ready for you. Love, mother of the great one. So we're going to send off with that fun little bit of note. I'm glad to see the community's kind of coming together to enjoy this series. We will see you all next week, this coming Saturday, for the week 4, the next stage in season 2 here at the Final Boss Draft League. I have been Aaron Church Solomon, giving you the quick rundowns and wraparounds with my co-host T-Von to give us the analytical breakthrough and kind of let you know if these players are being a little dumb. But we'll see you all next week. Thank you, and good night.